This WAFLW live stream is brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the Waffle and the WAFLW. The rear-wheel drive V6 twin-turbo Kia Stinger. Simply Energy, proudly supporting WA footy. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.
Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready? Ready for more? Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my my, you ready? Ready or not, are we going? And I can't stop, are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my my. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Grand final spot up for grabs here in the WAFLW preliminary final. It's Peel Thunder hosting East Fremantle down here at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah. It's a beautiful day for football. Temperature approaching the mid-20s, so it could even be a bit warm for the ladies out there this afternoon, but everything to play for the Thunder and the Sharks this afternoon. Subiaco await the winners for next week's grand final on Saturday at Arena Joondalup. East Fremantle coming all the way down the highway to take on Peel. They're on quite some winning streak here, the Sharks. 4 consecutive wins to get them into this position, all by single-figure margins. And today they take on a Peel Thunder side who got within a goal of the minor premiers last week but couldn't quite get over the line. As a result, they're hosting a preliminary final. The Thunder going through their warm-ups at the moment, away to the southern end of David Gray's Arena, and there are the Sharks. The defending premiers, they've got 9 players out here this afternoon who played on the last day of the season last year, that successful match for East Fremantle when they won the flag against Swan Districts at Lathlane Park. So 9 players out there looking to get themselves back into a grand final. Meanwhile, Peel, in their first final series, a chance to progress to the grand final. So much to look forward to here today. Fantastic day for football, as we mentioned. We'll introduce the rest of the commentary team after this break. It's Peel and East Fremantle, the preliminary final for WAFLW season 2020.
All the great teams have many things in common. That ability to deliver when it counts. That certain style about the way they do things. That ongoing quest to be the best.
Goes back to back.
And at Kia, that team mantra is everything. We're proud to support the WAFL and proud to offer Australia's best 7-year warranty. Because with Kia, we've got your back.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Dad!
Oh, sorry.
Just wait.
It's funny.
Dad!
Party pooper.
Shh.
Bring your family together. Introducing Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Preliminary final day down in Mandurah, and there are the Thunder getting the last messages before they head out to contest the preliminary final against the reigning champs, East Fremantle. Last opportunity for both of these sides to secure a spot in the grand final. Subiaco await the winners. Dave Lindsay in commentary alongside Joe Taylor, who is someone who wishes they were sitting in a slightly different box here today. As you can see, front row screens bring us the weather. Beautiful day, Joe, 21 degrees, but you'd rather be a box or two to our right rather than in the commentary box today.
Oh, yeah, but on the plus side, I'm less stressed. So, I think it's going to be a great game out here today. Finally, we've got some nice conditions to showcase these girls. And we just see Peel Thunder's lineup there. A couple of players to keep an eye out for. You've got Kate Bartlett. I think today's conditions are really going to suit her. She's a good, strong mark and a really good shot on goal. Young girl Ella Roberts from Margaret River, 15-year-old, who's been playing up in the forward line for Peel Thunder. Also another one to keep an eye out on. And the conditions today will I think, breed some fast football. So Courtney Rowley out there on the wing, sort of through the midfield, I think is going to really be able to take this game on and get some really good ball forward for Peel.
So that's the Thunder lineup. East Fremantle, a very experienced and quite settled sort of team as well. 9 of these players have played every game this year. A couple of new players coming in today as well. Laura McClelland, you can see there on the bench, and also coming to the side, Jessie McDonald, who also will start on the bench. You've seen a bit of Jessie before, I think, Joe?
Yeah, look, Jessie's a pretty quick player. So, again, with the conditions today, it's a smart move, I think, to get some of that outside run. I'm really excited to see Rosie Walsh up forward today. The big, tall forward, young player, and the conditions really haven't helped her in the last month. So I think today we might be able to see her grab a few marks. And then down back, Ruby Schleicher, she's just caught everything all year, and I think today she's going to get some really good drive for them off the half-back line and some quick ball movement forward.
So then the lineups. Who's your tip today, Joe? It's the youth of Peel. There's a sprinkling of experienced players through their lineup as well, but then the Sharks, who have been here before and just seem to be getting the job done over the past month.
Yeah, look, I think East Freo, purely on experience, I think it's going to be a great game. But yeah, I think East Freo might get the chockies today.
So we're ready to go. Preliminary final day. With the Sharks attacking the left of your screen. A little bit of breeze advantage to the left of screen. We watched a very exciting finish to the reserves match between Claremont and West Perth, and West Perth came home with a rush. I think they kicked 4 goals in the last quarter. Claremont did manage to kick one into the breeze, and that was enough to get them over the line. So the Sharks will start with the breeze at their back, and it's Bowie in the ruck. Gets her hands to the footy. In comes Wrigley. She's wrapped up immediately by Ross, and we'll need a secondary ball up. Maddie Ross last week seemed to take whoever East Fremantle thought was the most dangerous midfielder in your game last week. So it'll be interesting to see where she settles this afternoon. Out of this ball up, Ditchburn is lurking just off the footy. Wong on the bottom of the pack, as she so often is. And we'll need another ball up to get things started. Been a lot of wet weather following the WAFL women's season around this year, but last week it was torrential rain. Came in sideways at East Fremantle Oval during our broadcast, and you said, Joe, the coach's box wasn't the safest place to be either.
No, it was a little bit hairy up there, so it's nice to get some sunshine today.
Sarah Verrier getting the first clear kick of the game towards Briggs. Slipped over. Now she's got some problems tackling Williams. Verrier first back onto the football. Great to see her back out there, such a talent, and expected to be drafted quite high in the WA section of the AFL draft. Good solid body contact there. Briggs did well. Opened up some space for Verrier. Her kick goes wide and it drifts out of bounds on the full. And she's a little bit sore getting herself to her feet there, Sarah Verrier. In fact, it's going to be a relayed free kick. So she was dealt with afterwards. So not out of bounds on the full. Kick instead goes to Bartlett in the direction of Phillips. Can't take the mark. Actually dragged Norrish out of the way. Could have almost given away a free kick. There's Norrish now. Coughs up the hand pass straight to Wrigley. Dispossessed in the tackle. Norrish involved for a third time in this passage. Tumbling it down the line. Dowson chops it off. Church tried to thread the hand pass through some traffic. That was blocked. Barnden almost throws it to the defensive side. In comes Tinson. Stands up well on the tackle. Hand pass to Bowie. She's wrapped up by Barnden. And the umpire says we'll throw it in. And the pressure from both sides, Joe, early is fierce.
This has been a great start, particularly from Peel. Young team, you don't want to get overawed in those first couple of minutes. So they would have settled now, and I think we're in for a good game.
Just a goal of difference for both of these teams last week in their semi-finals. Peel on the wrong end against Subiaco, and East Fremantle sneaking home over the top of Swan Districts in the end. Sharks coming home with a real rush in that one. Meanwhile, Peel played out a scoreless final quarter against Subiaco. They were a goal down at three-quarter time. and neither team managed to score in the last quarter. The ball was camped down Peel's end for much of that term, but neither team could actually find a score at all. And again, another stoppage, probably seen 5 or 6 stoppages in the first couple of minutes of this contest. Bowie in the ruck again. It's brilliant, overrunning the football. Bowie gets in there again, tackled by Barnum without the football. Now Wong comes in there, the free kick will be paid. It's coming back to Bowie, and the advantage, no. Gomes had some space to work into, but the umpire said there was too much of a delay. It's going to come back to Bowie. Finished very high, I think it was top 3 in the Darragh Kerr medal last year, Kimberly Bowie. Normally Darragh Kerr medals the Monday night of grand final week, Joe, but I understand it's going to be combined with the Sandover this year, so the girls have got to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, 29th of September, going to be doing a joint event, which is everyone's very excited about. So, you know, but yeah, it does mean there's a little bit of a wait.
Takes a little bit of pressure off someone if they happen to win it and then have to play in the grand final later in the week. It's never easy. Last year it was shared by a couple of Lions who had just been knocked out of the finals the day before, Hayley Miller and Danica Piscaneri.
Yeah, it certainly was. I guess the only plus side to that is they could have a champagne to celebrate it.
Sort of put a smile back on their face after the disappointment of the day before. Good kick from Riley using the outside of the boot, gets it inside 50. Here is Jessie McDonald. Got the flash green boots on. Be interesting to see how she goes here this afternoon. Sharks making a couple of changes to their lineup today to bring those 2 players in, Laura McClelland and also Jessie McDonald. On the boundary throw, and it'll go, also a ball up, it'll go out of play. And Gabby O'Sullivan, who is such a dangerous player. We were speaking off air before, Joe, that your team had her well covered for most of the day, but as everyone expected, she bobbed up at just the moment that East Fremantle needed her.
Yeah, she's a superstar, and she doesn't need much opportunity, and she always makes the absolute most of it. So here we go here.
Right on cue, O'Sullivan swoops on the loose footy, kicks it to full forward. Lewis couldn't quite hang on. The ball didn't spin perfectly off O'Sullivan's boot. She might have been firing for goal there, but the first score of the game is a behind to the Sharks.
She's just so clever. She finds space where there is none, and she typically kicks the ball very, very well. So a bit of a let-off there for Peel.
Back into play. Demi Little with the kick in for the Thunder. It's a good mark by Anderson, who's held down the centre-half back post pretty well for Peel this year. Just a youngster. Close to the boundary with her kick. Barndon comes in late to make a contest against Gomes, and off hands it goes out of play. Might have taken a bit of her head as well. Might have been kind saying off hands.
First Falcon for the day.
Now, we've spoken about this rule where the boundary umpire comes in 10 metres just about every game. We all like it, Joe. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I think it opens up the game. You know, I think ultimately it's a rule that might go across female and male football.
O'Sullivan trying to get a bit of bend on that one, but she'll be happy enough to get a stoppage in the pocket. The ball skips away over the fence, so there'll be a bit of a delay as the boundary umpire might have to go and fetch it, although there is a youngster coming down to assist from beyond the fence. So the one behind only to start so far for the Sharks. They've been fairly slow starting sort of side, but they've also made it very tough for opponents to kick goals in the first quarter this season. 6 times in 8 games they've kept their opponents goalless in the first quarter, only conceding goals twice this season. Nice mark taken here by McClelland. Pumps it back in towards the pocket. Anderson knocked over there by Tinson, and again it's out of play in the forward pocket again for East Fremantle. It seems like their game style, Joe, is to keep things nice and tight. Don't let the other team get away at all, and they'll grind away all day and back themselves to get over the top by the end.
Yeah, they wear you down. You know, they do. They keep it congested, and then when the time comes, when everyone's just a little bit tired, they're able to spread and start to open the game up.
Tinson runs the circle, hooks it back towards the goal square, pushes it across the face, and it's going to bounce just on the line. Thought for a moment it was going out of bounds on the full, but they will get another boundary throw in the right forward pocket this time. So the ball locked inside their attacking 50, and Peel have to soak up some pressure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who gets on the move at this stoppage for East Fremantle. At some point, the dam wall's got to break.
A lot of one-on-ones around this contest. Lewis just leaning into her opponent, swats it away. McDonald a fumble, goes on to collect the footy, just hovering over it for the moment at least. It's not coming out, so another ball up. Fantastic day for footy So much rain in Waffle Women's this year, so to see a day like this when it comes to preliminary final day is fantastic for everyone involved. Doesn't mean we're going to get an open, free-flowing game, though. There hasn't been much flow just yet, Joe.
No, there certainly hasn't. Hopefully, and once everybody settles a little bit, then we might get some of that nice open play.
Coming through Wrigley, a hand pass towards the boundary. Will be intercepted. Riley from the boundary line right to the goal scorer. It's a good kick. Knocked away by Benson in defence, and yet again the boundary umpire called in to make a throw-in.
That was a great kick to the. I thought that was going out of bounds on the full for sure. So to be able to bend it back and give Jessie McDonald the opportunity, but she was just overpowered by someone a little bit taller than her in that contest.
Quaife and Lewis go at it again. Quaife nicely down to Wrigley. Kick goes nowhere. Intercepted by Bird. Hurried kick goes wide. The Sharks are peppering the goals. They can't find the major opening just yet. Doesn't appear to be too far away, though, the way things are going.
Lily Bird's another one of those young up-and-comers that are coming through the ranks, so it's good to see her start to get her hands on the ball in the first quarter.
Real confidence player, Lily Bird, so if she gets involved early, normally sets herself up for a good day, and it was her pressure there that made the rolly kick fall short. Ross with the intercept mark, kicks it back to half forward. Here's O'Sullivan, just leant into her opponent's back and then doubled back at the last moment to take the catch. This is a tough kick from here, but the breeze should bring it back from left to right, and if anyone's capable from here, Joe, it'll be Gabby O'Sullivan.
Yeah, well, she'll certainly have a go. So, and I'm not going to put my house on it, but I generally, when she's around goal, I usually pop that one in the book. So it'd be interesting to see how she reads the wind on this kick.
Kicked 4 goals this year, Gabby O'Sullivan. Kicked the winner last week. This one's spinning nicely off the boot. She hasn't quite allowed for the breeze enough, and it's a behind. So 2 early scores to the Sharks are behind. There you see O'Sullivan just throwing a bit of grass in the air. Just misread it, looking at her reaction. Just wanted to double check. Did the Matthew Lloyd? Needed to do it before the kick rather than after.
She might have got that one backwards.
So 2 plays zip. As Little kicks in. Gets good distance into the breeze. Juggled attempt from Rowley. Couldn't take it. Player dragged to ground, so the free kick will go the way of Courtney Rowley. Too young to be drafted. Such a dangerous player. One of the key players out there for Peel today. That kick just had a bit too much on it. Shepherd from Davison allows Wrigley in. She wrestles away free of the tackle. That kick that time did appear to hold up in the breeze, so there is a bit out there. Prentice tackled and loses the football. McClellan had a little go, now pushing the back, and the free kick will go the way of the Sharks and Wong. Most of the players on the ground ahead of Wong here as she kicks towards Walsh. Stretched but can't take the mark. Ground level, Tinson uses the body well, collects the footy, needs to get it out now, does well, gets it to Walsh, who snaps but can't bend it around the corner. And East Fremantle get another behind. A little wasteful here, the Sharks, in the first half of the first term. Yeah,
she just hit the wrong side of the ball on that one, but it's really good to see Rosie Walsh competing for it at ground level. We know what she can do in the air, but to see someone of her stature to compete at ground level like that is a real bonus for East Freo.
We were down here for front row screens in the final round of the season when Peel and Claremont did battle, and the Tigers, I think, hit 1 goal 5 with the breeze in the first quarter. And that was costly in the end. Peel took over in the second term. Phillips a long way from goal, can't take the mark. Now the kick goes forward by Church. True wing position, and Slisher, who's matched up on Bartlett early, is too strong in that contest. That's where Slisher should be able to control Bartlett, isn't it? In the air, but once it hits the ground, Bartlett's always in business. Great Shepherd from Wong. The kick goes towards half forward. Dowson trying to control the football. Little is there. She's tackled and dragged off it. And they'll pile in again. We'll get a ball up? No, holding the ball. Who's the player at the bottom of the pack? Umpire says it was being held in, so it'll be a Peel free kick. And Dowson will take it. Little chip pass hoping for Roberts. She makes a good contest in the end. The kick didn't favour her, and then O'Sullivan just taking her high. And this is the youngster we were speaking about pre-game, Ella Roberts from Margaret River. She's a good size. That kick had a bit too much on it for Phillips, and so Norrish. Been in excellent form, Julie Ann Norrish. Gets a bit underneath this one. It'll sit up on the 50. Big leap from Davison from behind, but there's some holding in the contest. And the free kick will go the way of Roberts. I'll continue to go down the line again. It's a good kick. Ditchburn takes this one for Peel. Haven't spent much time ahead of centre yet today, Peel Thunder, and they won't here either because that kick's gone straight to Lily Bird. So I think we'll get more of an idea in the second term, Joe, just how this breeze is affecting play, but it certainly appears that you'd much rather be kicking to the left of screen than the right at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And judging from the reserves game that we watched earlier, that was certainly the scoring end. It'd be good to see just change the angle. Lilybird was going to on that occasion, would have opened it up for them, but instead went back to the congestion. So it'd be nice to see a bit of a reset at quarter time and see if we can't get some of that, change the angles and get a bit of free-flowing play.
Certainly scrappy there, and for a long time the umpires had put the whistle away, but now they've said that Lilybird dived onto this one and didn't get it out. So Jade Briggs was a really tough competitor, gets the free kick, and now this is the change of angle. Kick into the middle of the ground, it needs to be good. Dowson had problems with the sun. Now the Cavalry arrive, kicking in danger, the call. Don't see that paid too often. Tinson gets the free kick.
It was the right idea, though. I think that is what Peel need to do if they want to win this game. They need to get it out into the open space.
Here's East Fremantle's chance. Lewis does the shepherding, opens it up for Walsh. No one will catch Rosie Walsh, and the first goal of the game goes to the Sharks. Took quite some time, and they had a number of opportunities, but finally they've kicked the opening goal, and it's 9 playing zip with about 6.5 to go in this first quarter.
We can just see here that Rosie Walsh just kept herself in the contest there, and you know she's got some good speed on her for a key position player. So once she got a metre or two of space, I don't think anybody was going to run her down, and she just took it in to make sure of it. So that's a really good finish by Rosie, and that'll settle her today. You know, young player, we want to get those nerves out, so she'll be feeling pretty good about herself right now. So she might be in for a big one today.
Good start there from Rosie Walsh. She's been involved in a couple of contests early, which is good to see. Tackle from McClellan was good. Ball spills out the back. Wong coming in on top of the football, and we'll see a ball up. Isn't it ironic? We saw the first real change of direction there from Briggs, and it was a good kick, but the sun just getting in Dowson's way, and once the free kick was paid, it opened up the whole field. So hope that doesn't put anyone off making the change, because it's a much better game when we do get to change directions.
Yeah, you would hope that doesn't put them back into their shell, because that's the play we want to see. We don't want it to just keep going back to congestion, and we need to see that open play, particularly Peel, because that's the way that's their go-to.
O'Sullivan, best on ground in the grand final last year. She's well tackled. Good contest there from Davidson. Another ball up.
Casey Davidson knows this team well, having spent a couple of years at East Fremantle, so gone back to her home club and up against her former side. It'll be interesting to see how she goes today.
She's got the match-up on O'Sullivan for the moment at least. Here's Dowson, well tackled by Versace front on. Ball comes out, the umpire didn't see it pop out the side. There'll be a ball up on attacking 50 again for East Fremantle. McClellan takes it out of the ruck. Hand pass to Ross, off to Wong. Slick play from the Sharks. The kick into the pocket doesn't give the forwards much chance, and it just bursts past Lewis. Another behind. So East Fremantle doing all the attacking in this first quarter. I'd love another goal or two before quarter time to take full advantage of this breeze.
Yeah, it'll be, as you said earlier, we can't really get a good read on it until the second quarter, but Peel have really not been able to get the ball forward of centre, so it'd be interesting to know how much effect that wind is having out there.
Not sure whether the wind had much say in that kick, but it was a very ordinary kick from Wrigley. Didn't give Rowley any chance. It's gone out of play without anyone touching it. So it'll be Sprullin with the free kick. Her kick as well seems to bend away on the breeze. Walsh at full stretch, couldn't take the mark. Anderson happy to escort it over. And that boundary umpire in the right forward pocket's had a lot of work to do in this first quarter.
Look, Peel really want to defend this. They don't want East Freo to get away from this last form. You don't want the game to get away from you in the first quarter. So it's really important that they defend this now.
Tap goes towards O'Sullivan. Tries to shrug the tackle, but she's well wrapped up by Davidson, and that'll be holding the ball. Good one-on-one victory for Davidson early in the game.
Absolutely.
Wants to play on. Good use of the football this time. Trying to use Chloe Wrigley on the way out. Peel. She's had a couple of opportunities to clear. Again goes wide with her kick, and Rowley does very well to get past her opponent. Takes the mark and then delivers beautifully to Barndon. Promising build-up this time from Peel, and Barndon wants to come into the corridor. It's a good-looking kick. Here's Whale taking the mark out the back door. East Fremantle have players back. Whale needs to get it moving before they retreat even further. The kick looking for Briggs, has too much on it. Williams can't take the mark. Coming out of defence though Inglis Hodge lays it away to Catalano, and she uses it well too.
That was a really good build-up by Peel. It's unfortunate that their forwards had pressed really high up the ground and just no option going back, but that will give them confidence to know that they can move the football like that.
O'Sullivan puts it on the toe. A soccer kick gets it inside 50. Rolling under pressure. Being hassled by O'Sullivan. Pushed in the back. The free kick goes the way of Courtney Rowley. Just steadies things down. Hits up Davidson on the lead, and then her kick straight to the chest of Briggs. Peel will be okay with this at the moment. Only 10 points down. Smart play from Wong. She was awake to that one. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. East Fremantle would feel they haven't made enough of this breeze just yet. The kick towards O'Sullivan, another push in this contest. And again, it's going to go the way of the Peel defenders. Seen the East Fremantle forwards give away a number of free kicks in this first term. Whale has this one. Strikes it well, but doesn't direct it towards a teammate. And Williams, been a very good player for East Fremantle over the past month or so.
Yeah, it's great to see her find some form coming back from that knee reconstruction. So she's just built as the season's gone on.
Lewis got up high but couldn't take the mark. We'll see a ball up. Interesting player, Sarah Lewis. Kicked 4 against South in the first game. Has only kicked 1 goal since then. She did miss a fair bit of footy with an injury to her hand. Crossed from Subiaco in the off-season.
She's a forward that a beautiful mark of the ball. Has had her struggles with her kicking, but is working really, really hard on it. So it's good to see her out there getting her opportunities. And today I think she will get one of those opportunities and might make the difference.
A lack of awareness there from Peel. Phillips putting it out of bounds on the full. And now Bird will get the free kick inside the last minute of the quarter. Kicks it back into that same pocket again. There's Lewis stretching, couldn't take the mark. Quaife turns and kicks into a dangerous position. Oh, great grab from Bilsich. Definitely needed to take that one. They were under pressure. Had that ball hit the ground. Davidson marks and then ducks back around Ross. Kicks in the middle of the ground. Important ball to be won. Dying moments of the quarter, and it's Peel that win it. Rowley through the middle of the ground. Kicks in the wide open spaces. Alston being pursued by Briggs. Siren close as well. Alston under pressure. Great tackle from Briggs. Hand pass goes to the defensive side, and then that one might have just got her a bit high. The attack on the football and the attack on the player from Carter, giving away the free kick. It should be enough for East Fremantle to make sure that Peel don't score in this first quarter. Alston to take the free kick. Wisely goes towards the boundary. Off hands. Roving at the front is Bird. And that ends the first term of the preliminary final. It was all East Fremantle. They had the breeze. I'm not sure they've made the most of their opportunities though. 1-4 in the first quarter. The goal coming from the boot of Rosie Walsh. Peel didn't have a shot on goal. And for the 7th time in 9 games this season, East Fremantle have kept their opponents goalless in the first quarter. And their style of football is pretty clear to see again here today. They lead it by 10 points at quarter time. It's the preliminary final for the 2020 season in the WAFLW.
Hey, darling. So I was thinking maybe we could all go out for dinner.
Oh, I wish, but I need to finish this prezzo.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just take the kids. Okay. All right, bye.
Champagne, sir?
Bring your family together.
What?
New Optus Family Plan includes 4 SIMs and the McAfee Safe family app.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
The V6 twin-turbo rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Quarter time, we're inside the East Fremantle huddle. Preliminary final day here in the WAFLW. And the Sharks had the breeze in the first quarter. They only managed to kick one goal, though, in that term. They led it by 10 points at quarter time. 1-4 plays, no score. We believe the breeze could be worth a couple of goals in favour of the team that will kick to the left of the screen. It will be the Thunder in the second quarter. That goal came off the boot of Rosie Walsh, the tall forward for East Fremantle. Dave Lindsay alongside Joe Taylor. Joe, what do you make of the first term?
Oh, look, I think it was probably what we expected. It was going to be contested and see who could break first. I don't know that East Fremantle would be overly happy with their conversion. The ball did spend probably 90% of the quarter in their forward 50 almost, and to only get 1 goal 4 out of that, I think Peel readjusted and defended really well, and we did see the couple of times they were able to break and get the ball forward. Their coaches will be wanting their forwards to hold a bit more structure in front of the ball so that when they make that break, they've got somewhere to go with it.
It's the third week in a row that Peel Thunder have failed to score in the first quarter. They did win one of those games. Obviously last week wasn't that occasion when they went down to Subiaco. Otherwise they'd be sitting watching this game as we see some of the highlights from the first term, and they'll all be towards the left of screen because Peel barely managed to get the ball past halfway. But East Fremantle really didn't make the most of the chances that they had. And there weren't too many clear-cut, easy chances, but they weren't able to generate any set shots or corridor sort of attacking moves, did they, Jay?
No, it was a real almost quarter of football. You know, there were a couple of opportunities for shots on goal, but they were difficult shots, and they weren't, as you say, they weren't able to create space in the forward 50, which is what can happen when the ball's obviously camped in there. You've also got every player on the field, so they just need to maybe get some of their half forwards and mids out a little bit to create some space back there for their forwards to lead into. They've got Sarah Lewis and Rosie Walsh down there who are both great marks, so they'll want to readjust there.
Peel Thunder huddle just about to break up. Notice Sarah Verrier, who got a bit of a knock early in the game, doing some run-throughs during the quarter-time break. She'll start the quarter on the bench. And there's the East Fremantle coach, Nikki Harwood, just giving her final instructions before her players head back out onto the field. The Sharks in a tight group. They're an experienced bunch. Mentioned already 9 of their players played in last year's grand final. So they'll be very keen to return to the big stage again next week. The grand final to be played at Arena Joondalup on Saturday next week. The men's finals will be played on Sunday. And the Demons are in there, Joe.
I know.
What scenes last night at Laflane Park?
They were some pretty special footage and photos that were all over the socials today. I think 27-year drought, so congratulations to all the Demons fans that have stuck by them for the last 27 years. It's great to see.
There'll be a lot more next week than there have been at any Perth game for quite some time, I think. They'll all come out. They're heading up to Joondalup as well on Sunday.
Yeah, I haven't seen people run onto the oval like that since my brother's under-12s grand final, I don't think. It was pretty good to see.
Yeah, it was old school waffle footage, wasn't it? Seeing very excited spectators charging onto the field to celebrate, and the players themselves knew as well. And their reward is a clash against West Perth next week, who they haven't beaten in 18 matches. So it's not going to become any easier for them next week. But, gee, if there's ever a time to break that hoodoo, why not in the first semi-final?
Well, I don't think too many people picked them against South, so they're on a roll.
Yeah, and the two teams that will play in the second semi-final, Perth have beaten them both, South Fremantle and Claremont. So if they get over the top of West Perth next week, who's going to stop them? Anyway, we're underway here in the second quarter of the preliminary final with WAFLW, and it's Bowie knocking it forward towards Ross, off to Wong, straight down the middle they go. The kick towards Lewis, goes one-handed, couldn't take it. Good little hand pass to the runner in Tinson, got a shove as she kicked that. Walsh has done well to trap this footy inside the line. Eventually it skids behind her, and it's out of play for a throw-in right forward pocket. And that's a good start from East Fremantle. Peel barely got it inside 50 for the whole first quarter, and already the Sharks are inside.
Yeah, there'd have to be some concerns in the Peel coach's box for the ease that came out of the middle into the wind there.
Throw-in lands right in the corridor. Great spot for East Fremantle to have the football, and we'll get a stoppage here again. Cassie Davidson watching Gabby O'Sullivan very closely, just on the left of your screen. Ball goes past this pair of players. Church has read it best. And then the hurried kick is superb. Not sure it was designed to go right to the chest of Briggs, but it did. And then Briggs is happy to change direction again, looking for Rowley. Clears her head. At the back was Bartlett, overrunning the football. Slicer spins into a tackle and then threw it away. Well done, Rowley. Great second effort. She's scanning inside as well. Decides to go down the corridor in the Phillips direction. Clears her head. So too Norwich. Missed the spoil. At the back, the hand pass coming out there from Carter. She was pushed in the back. And we'll get a set shot on goal here from Crystal Carter.
Let's see if she's got the advantage of training here and if she gets a good read on this wind. Crystal Carter, she's a veteran here at Peel, so it's nice to see her being able to get into the play here straight up.
She's one of 14 players that have played every game this year for Peel. So they've been a very settled lineup. She's kicked 5 goals in those games. This one looks fantastic off the boots. And Peel have got a goal inside 2.25 minutes in this second term. And they're right back in this contest with the breeze at their back for a further 17.5 minutes. They're well placed.
That will just give them so much confidence, and that was a great finish there by Crystal. As we saw earlier, the wind isn't easy to read down there on those set shots. So for her to just move that ball in the air like that, she'd be up and about, and I'm sure that everybody's walking on their toes now and ready to make the most of this wind.
We mentioned as well earlier that when Jade Briggs decided to kick into the corridor in the first quarter and it didn't work out, not so much from a mistake she made, but the sun, I think, getting in the way of a teammate. Well, she changed directions again there, so she wasn't gun shy, and it set up a goal for her team. Briggs and Rowley, 2 youngsters with their hands all over that one. Free kick and advantage. Here's another youngster dashing away. Chloe Riley, time for a bounce. Dowson did very well. Charged at Rowley and then made the smother. Wins the footy and then gives it away to Church. Kicks the torpedo off a step. Slicer reading it best again. She's had Bartlett well covered in the first quarter and a bit.
Yeah, Kate Bartlett's just going to have to get to those contests and make Ruby earn those marks. It's just a little bit easy for them coming out of half back at the moment.
Tinson with a penetrating kick towards centre half forward. Mark not taken by Catalano. Sprillian comes in, well tackled by Rowley again. Stripped her of the football. Did sensationally well. O'Sullivan is there, diving in Versace. So too Ditchburn. Ball up at centre half forward, but there's a lot more speed in the game in this second quarter.
Absolutely, and Courtney Rowley started on fire, so hopefully she can keep that going for the rest of the quarter.
Players diving in on top of this one. Tinson almost hatching an egg there for a moment, but the umpire says it's okay and ball it up. Barnden and Bowie putting their hands up, nominating for the ruck. They crash into each other. Ball comes out towards Tinson, feeds the hand pass nicely back to Riley. Good long kick. Walsh has got a break on her opponent. Ball lands at her feet. In comes O'Sullivan. Tries to use the outside of her boot as she was running to the right. It was almost impossible to get the bend on that one, and it's gone out of bounds on the full. But East Fremantle getting inside 50 on a couple of occasions already in this quarter, which would suggest that scoring's not impossible for them at the right of screen.
No, it's opened up a little bit in this quarter, so it's good to see that the girls are taking the game on a little bit more.
Demi Little, 50-metre kick, that one. Bruce certainly helping her there, but Wong is at the back, pops it into the corridor. Wonderful kick. Oh, should have been marked by Catalano. Unusual to see her drop that. Here's Rowley with the outside of the boot. Good kick to the goal square. There's 2 back there. Oh, they might have got in each other's way. The big talls up forward, Walsh and Lewis. I think Walsh has gone to apologise to Lewis. One of them needed to call the other one in. Catalano's got a problem as well after dropping that mark, so she's hobbling her way towards the bench. The Sharks lost a player last week to a knee injury. I don't know if this one's a knee or an ankle. Last week It was Samara Plushke who did her knee in the last quarter. Might be more of an ankle this time, but she can't even get a gallop up as she's heading towards the bench. Ball at centre half forward for East Fremantle. Barging her way through is Sprillian. She's tackled and driven into the turf. The umpire says that's all okay. We'll ball it up. There's the injury to Caitlin Catalano. She's going to hop off the field. Don't see that too often for the last 10 metres. Hopefully she's okay and can get back out there. If it's just an ankle, might be able to be re-strapped, but it was that mark that she dropped leading out from full forward.
was a beautiful kick too. She'd be disappointed that she didn't grab hold of that one. So hopefully it's not a significant injury and it's just a bit of a stinger.
In the middle of the ground now. Here with the only goal of this quarter, holding on in that contest, and East Fremantle will get the free kick. Kate Inglis-Hodge gets this one spinning nicely off the boot, beats all players. Davison was surprised that it got through to her, couldn't take the mark. Another stoppage at half forward now for East Fremantle. Laura McClellan has come storming on, so too Lauren Quaife. They're coming in off the bench. They're both trying to get to this contest. Eventually McClellan did. She nominated just in time. Wrigley's tackled high. And she'll get the free kick at half back for Peel. 7 minutes gone in this quarter. Just the one goal kick so far to the Thunder. Kira Phillips has it knocked away by Norrish. Little is there. Sends a hopeful hand pass forward and Quaife makes it good. Getting in front of her opponent. Rowley a good tackle again. Giving Spruillian a really hard time on this wing during the second quarter. Nice pick up from Bartland. Good kick into the corridor. They need a good bounce here. Bailey Malloy had it knocked away by Gomes. And a good tackle by Malloy on Inglis-Hodge. And she forces the stoppage at centre half forward for Peel, and the Thunder are up and about in this second term.
That was fantastic play by Bailey Malloy. I think she was 3 or 4 on 1 there. So to be able to get a stoppage at centre half forward out of that is just is really good defensive forward play.
Two-player tackle there, Quaife and Roberts holding it up for another ball up. True centre half forward. Breeze at their back in this term for the Thunder. Wong gets in and under. Thrown out after losing the football. Bobbling around. Hand pass comes towards Bilsich. Gets good distance on this kick and Bartlett's got rid of her opponent and takes the mark. She was opposed to Prentice on this occasion. Ruby Slisher perhaps taking a rest on the bench and Bartlett's enjoying that opportunity.
Yep, you've got to take the opportunities when they come, and she had the mismatch there, and she just let her know about it after the mark as well, which is good passion.
And Ruby Slisher is standing between the interchange gates for East Fremantle, watching her opponent kick a goal. And that hurts.
And she's just called her teammate off. She's like, nope, I've got Kate Bartlett, get me back out there.
Oh, don't you hate that? You matched up. Everyone who reads the results the next day has a look and sees Bartlett's kicked a goal and they just assume you must have been out there.
Yeah, she'd be pretty dirty on that one, Ruby. So I expect her to rebound the ball pretty well off of half-back for the rest of this quarter, that's for sure.
Peel in front for the first time today. They've kicked 2 goals. We haven't made it to the halfway point of this quarter, so they've still got 11 minutes of wind-assisted time.
And again, East Fremantle not being able to finish and you know, 1 goal 5 on the board, that when they had the win, they were so dominant that they really needed to finish, and we've been able to see Peel here come down and make the most of their opportunities.
Kate Bartlett having words to Ruby Slisher as well. So maybe saying to her, you need to be fitter, don't go to the bench, I'll make you pay.
She might just be saying they don't know who was defending me at the time, Rubes.
1-0 to Bartlett, even though Slisher wasn't out there. Quaife wins in the ruck, but McClellan goes back and gets the footy, feeds it off to Bird. O'Sullivan was happy to let that one bounce, and then it skipped away from her. Rowley comes in to win the football, tackled by 2 Sharks. Tackled high, according to the umpire. And Courtney Rowley is having a big impact in this game. Kicks out in front of Briggs. Gathers just inside the boundary, turns onto the left. Here's Slisher, she attacks the footy, beaten by a horrible bounce. Gives Bartlett another opportunity, squeezes a kick into the corridor. It's a superb kick again. So she's kicked 1, and she's set up a scoring opportunity here for Bailey Malloy.
That was a great kick under immense pressure there from Alex Williams and Ruby Schleicher by Kate Bartlett to pick out Bailey Malloy, sort of 35 out from goal, was very well done under pressure. It looks like Alex Williams has just limped to the bench. Hopefully it's just a bit of a cork and nothing too serious there.
Well, the goal kicking from Peel to start this second quarter has been outstanding. 3 straight, and Malloy kicks her goal. So Peel lead by 7. We're only just ticked past the midway point of this second quarter, but they're getting their opportunities in the corridor, Joe.
They are, and they're finishing, and they've got a really good read on this win, but they're not taking those pot shots from the pockets and scrapping the ball forward. They're actually going forward fairly methodically and getting those good marks right in front of goal and giving themselves the best opportunity to maximise their scoring shots.
I did mention during that first quarter, wondering the strength of this breeze and whether East Fremantle had perhaps wasted their opportunities. Well, Peel They're making that pretty clear now that the Sharks did. No team had kicked more than one goal in the second quarter against East Fremantle all season, and Peel have got 3 already. Bilsich being hassled by Wong. Collects the footy. Good tackle from Wong. Could have been rewarded. Sitting on top of the football, Wrigley spills it out towards Bilsich. Kicks to Roberts. Just overruns the football. Riley in the opposite direction. Doesn't mind this outside of the boot kick. She's used that 3 or 4 times today already. O'Sullivan trapped the football, but Davison takes it away and then kicks to Roberts on the wing. Juggles the mark. Good recovery there.
Cassie Davison's just getting on top of Gabby O'Sullivan at the moment. She's just able to rebound that ball out of the 50s. Gabby might have to just lock down on her a little bit because that's where they're getting most of their drive from.
Roberts involved again towards the goal kicker in Malloy. Had it knocked away from her. Over the football is Church. She gets it out. And now we'll see a ball up between wing and half forward. Still 8 minutes to go in the second quarter.
And just see Alex Williams walking the boundary line there, which is great news. You never sort of want to see someone limp off, particularly when they're coming back from injury. So hopefully for East Freo's sake, they can get her back out there.
Deep forward again here for Peel, where Williams normally would be. It's Norrish who kicks it for distance, and it'll go out of play just inside the 50. And the umpire says it's deliberate.
Oh, it was nearly the perfect bounce.
Bartlett's come across quickly to take the kick. Now with this breeze, she's a nice kick of the football. It's not beyond her here from right on the arc. She's gone deep to goal. It's cleared the pack. It's a goal to Bartlett. She's got 2. And Peel have made a massive move in this second quarter, and it's all ahead of East Fremantle right now. Sharks down by 13.
Look, just have a look at this kick here from Kate Bartlett. That is just class. We all know she's a great kick of the footy, but on the boundary 50 metres out, that's a pretty special finish there from Kate Bartlett, and she can certainly be up and about after that one.
Well, she had a few words to say after her first goal. This one, she's made the most of just the slightest of opportunities to kick a goal, really. 50 out on the boundary. The breeze did assist the kick, but WAFLW football, you don't see many goals kicked from that position on the ground.
No, and they're 4 goals straight and still 6.5 minutes to go in this quarter. So Peel have got they're a young team and they're up and about now, so they've got a really good run on here.
They need to maximise the next 6 minutes. They've got the roll. They've really thrown down the gauntlet to East Fremantle. Can't afford to let the Sharks back in. East Fremantle without a clear possession, get the ball to centre half forward. Bowie's quick kick forward. Anderson playing in front, did well against Walsh. Sends the kick long. Inglis Hodge allows it to bounce. She controls the bouncing footy well. Then off to Wong. They're inside 50 once more, but again, not to the advantage, although McDonald makes it okay with a favourable bounce. Centering kick to O'Sullivan, good mark. So Gabby O'Sullivan, who has been well held so far by Davidson, but this is the type of player she is. She only needs a moment or two to have a real impact.
And that's a great touch there by Jessie McDonald. She clean with the ball and really quick hand to foot, and able to pop it back over her shoulder to Gabby in space. So that's a really, really good setup play.
She's kicked 4 goals this year. Missed a couple of half chances earlier today. She's got this one spinning beautifully off the boot. Does it have the carry? It does. Benson's claiming she touched it. Goal umpire says, well, if you did, it was over the line. So East Fremantle get one into the breeze. First goal of the game to the right of screen. And so badly needed, Peel's lead is trimmed to 7.
Great finish there by Gabby into the teeth of the breeze, and just knew her kick so well that if she was right on her limit, so she kicked straight through the footy, and it was gun barrel straight. So it's a really, really good finish there by Gabby. 5 goals kicked in this quarter between the two teams. Not sure whether the two coaches are always happy when goals are being scored at both ends, but certainly spectators and commentators are. Yeah, you just got to be 1 up at the end of the game, right?
So 7 scoring shots to 4 in East Fremantle's favour, but Peel have the lead. The Rucks go at it, but neither touch it. Wong again out of the middle. Doesn't take possession, but she was interfered with by Little. Almost a professional foul there. Sharon Wong. I reckon a lot of players will line up next to her and think, yeah, I've got you covered. But she seems to be in every contest, never beaten. This will be a free kick or a mark. Bowie took it in the end anyway. Spins around, kicks it towards Walsh on the lead. It holds up. Tinson almost claiming the mark. She's tackled, gets it away. O'Sullivan stands up in the tackle. Off to Versace. Kick goes to full forward. How will it bounce? Away for a behind. The Sharks are showing you can score at that right-hand side of your screen.
And some of their big names that have probably been a little bit down in the first quarter and a half in Versace, O'Sullivan, starting to get their hands on the ball. So Peel will really want to just lock down and defend for a minute here and get it back on their own terms.
Just 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. And Peel need to make sure that they close East Fremantle out in this term. McKinley, dangerous looking kick. She's going to turn this one over. In comes Sprillian. Good attack on the footy. Burst past a couple of players. Lost the footy and was tackled, and the umpire says held without it. Free kick coming back to Tinson.
Just fumbled at the right time there, but her speed creates some issues out there. She's really hard to stop for such a small statured player.
Tried to find Walsh, and Walsh was pushed in the back according to the umpire. Advantage paid. O'Sullivan. Oh, we won't see that every day. Gabby O'Sullivan taking full advantage of everyone falling asleep after that whistle, but then didn't take full advantage with a kick.
No, it was an odd one. She's kicked on the outside of the boot all day, and that one she's just tried to dribble through. So Gabby will learn from that one. She wouldn't miss that twice, but that's a great advantage to take. You know, that's just a goal that you have to kick, though.
3 runners out on the field at the moment. One of the Peel runners, I think, has just snuck off around the boundary line, just trying to make sure no one notices that they actually had 2 out there for a moment. Easy mistake to make as the ball comes back towards half forward for East Fremantle. Versace on the left boot. Tinson's playing in front, and she takes this one.
She had a really good 5 minutes, Katrina Tinson, out there. She's creating a little bit of havoc forward of the ball for East Freo at the moment.
I really like the way the Sharks have gone about kicking into this breeze. They've been very positive with their ball movement. And Tinson takes on Dowson on the mark. Got her up in the air, but Dowson caught her. Handpass goes straight up. Now they've got some problems here, the Sharks. There's 4 Thunder players in amongst this one. And in the end, Tinson, who probably wouldn't have made the distance, I'm guessing that's why she tried to take on Dowson on the mark, she gets a stoppage.
Yeah, I think she'd like to have her time again with Sarah Lewis and Rosie Walsh in the goal square. Probably just pop that one up, I think.
Not coming out of that pack either. 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Important times here. East Fremantle led by 10 points at quarter time. Peel kicked 4 in a row to start this quarter. The Sharks kicked 1 and missed a couple. O'Sullivan goes to ground, tripping over some grass there. As we're stuck in underneath this pack once more. Dowson trying to emerge, tackled by Ross. Ball spilled out for a moment, but the umpires are going to have to do the work again here.
If you Peel, you really want to defend the corridor here. You don't want to give up an easy goal right at the end of the quarter to undo all the good work you've done.
O'Sullivan knocks it into space. Umpire says kicking in danger. Coming back to Church. So Peel have 80 seconds to wind off this clock. Church just for a moment thought about crossing the face of goals. Instead goes down the line. Bowie drops a mark she would have preferred to take there. Williams back on the field, which is good to see, although now she's got a bit of a problem with her hand as she shakes that one, already strapped up. Throw in at left half forward inside the last minute of the quarter. Williams still having trouble with the fingers on that right hand. Barndon and Bowie. Bowie gets it over the back into the corridor. Ross paddles and then slaps it towards O'Sullivan. Being held without the football. Umpire says no. Play it on. Back into the middle it goes. Inglis Hodge pops it out wide. Little and Sprillian. Well done, Little. But now Sprillian with the second effort was very good. Traps it in underneath her. Could be holding the ball. It will be. A late chance here for the Sharks. Need to get it moving quickly. Sprillian's awake to that. Wants to get it into the corridor. Decides just to kick across the body. Diving in and taking the mark is Tinson. Finishing this quarter full of running. Both the Sharks and Katrina Tinson. Needs to hit a target inside 50. Gets up underneath this one. It really holds up in the breeze. Riley eventually has to make the contest against 3 or 4 defenders. And Peel managed to hang on in the second term. Thoroughly entertaining quarter. Really came to life in that second term after a pretty dour sort of struggle in the first. Peel kicking 4 goals in a row before the Sharks kick one into the breeze. Kate Bartlett kicked 2, 1 to Malloy and Carter, while for the Sharks, Walsh kicked 1 in the first. And Gabby O'Sullivan got her name on the scorers list in the second quarter. East Fremantle 2-7-19, trailing Peel 4 straight goals, 24. It's half time in the WAFLW preliminary final. A place in the grand final against Subiaco up for grabs.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. you could get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
The V6 twin turbo rear wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Hey, darling. So I was thinking maybe we could all go out for dinner.
I wish, but I need to finish this prezzo.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just take the kids. Okay. All right. Bye. Thank you. Wait, can I get
Champagne, sir?
Yeah.
Bring your family together.
What?
New Optus Family Plan includes 4 SIMs and the McAfee Safe Family app.
It's half-time in the preliminary final, WAFLW season 2020, and Peel Thunder lead it by 5 points down here at David Gray's Arena in Mandurah. Rushton Park, as it's better known. 4 straight, the Thunder. East Fremantle 2-7. East Fremantle kicked 1-4 with the Breeze in the first quarter. They kicked 1 goal 3 into the Breeze in the second. Peel didn't score in the first, kicking into it, and then kicked 4 straight in the second quarter. Plenty of spectators around enjoying what was a very entertaining first half. David Lindsay and Joe Taylor. And things really turned around in that second quarter. Peel making the most of their opportunities with the Breeze, but East Fremantle played some good footy too, Joe.
Absolutely, into the Breeze. They ran it rather than trying to bomb it forward, and they were able to really, if they just kicked straight, they would walk in at half time feeling pretty good about themselves. But just in that quarter, Courtney Rowley for Peel, only a young player, but I think she was the one that really got them going. She was in everything, she was tackling, and then when she got it on the outside, she used the ball really well to their forwards who finished really well. It's all you can ask your forwards to do is kick goals. So, Peel will walk in feeling pretty good about the way they played that quarter, but they're going to have to defend a little bit better in this quarter with East Freo with the wind.
So a lot of Kate Bartlett in these highlights already, and we'll see a goal from her shortly, which was unbelievable from 50 out on the boundary. But she kicked one while Ruby Slicer was off the ground. She set up that one for Bailey Malloy, and then this kick, it's from 49 metres out, the Breeze coming over her right shoulder, carried the pack, landed pretty much on the goal line. And didn't she celebrate? And why shouldn't she?
Oh, mate, I would have celebrated that one. It was Julianne Norris sort of just pulled out, whether the sun got in her eyes, but you can't take away from how good that kick was.
And Gabby O'Sullivan kicking one into the wind, the first goal to that right-hand end of the ground. And she had a few opportunities, made a mess of one that you'd mark her down for every day of the week when she was running into goal on an angle and for some reason just skidded it wide. But such a dangerous footballer and someone that Peel are going to have to watch right to the siren today.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to put a bit of work into Sharon Wong in the middle. She's been doing it for years. She just gets, here's this one from Gabby where she she knew as soon as she kicked it, she knew that it had gone the wrong way and she'd taken the advantage there, so she probably needed to kick it. But I think Peel needs to put some work into Sharon Wong. She's just that in and under player, and she accumulates, and she's the one who gets the ball out of the middle for East Fremantle 9 times out of 10. So to lock down on her, I think, might curtail some of that free run they're getting out of those centre clearances.
And we just saw that moment that Katrina Tinson might want to have back when she decided to take on the player on the mark. And almost got past Ebony Dowson, but Dowson was onto it. But Tinson, the last 5-7 minutes of that quarter, had a big impact.
Yeah, look, she's a quality player who's had a really bad luck over the last 5 years with injury, so it's great to see her out there and having a really good effect on the game. But I thought her last 5 minutes really brought East Fremantle back into the game. And you know, but for some poor kicking, I think they should be a couple of goals in front.
So Peel lead by 5 points at half-time. It's been great to have footy back throughout WA in 2020, giving people the chance to reconnect with their clubs and teammates. Now let's take a look at a short video highlighting in more detail some of the terrific benefits footy brings to our community. Certainly has been great to have football back. I'm sure at some stage earlier this year we weren't certain that there was going to be any football played this season, but certainly around the communities of WA and at the state league level as well. It's been a wonderful effort to get football up and running, and we're into finals now in the WAFL women's, WAFL men's finals start next week, and community footy into finals as well. So just a couple more weeks to get through, and I think everyone will celebrate what's been a very challenging season, but one that can eventually be put down as a big success because everyone's done such a great job just to get some sort of a season happening. And certainly WAFL women's wise, it's up for grabs. Subiaco sitting back today and enjoying a Sunday off and waiting to see who they'll play in next week's grand final up at Arena Joondalup on Saturday against the winner of this match. Peel lead it at the moment by 5 points. They're 4 straight 24, leading East Fremantle 2-7-19. Massive second half still to come here on your WAFLW stream. We'll be back with all of that action in just a moment.
The V6 twin turbo rear wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Dad!
Oh, sorry.
Just wait.
It's funny.
Dad!
Yeah. party purpose.
Bring your family together. Introducing Optus Family Plan with 4 SIMs and 250 gigs of data to share.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Lots of spectators here at David Gray's Arena. Down in Mandurah, enjoying the sunshine. Fantastic day to be playing footy and to be watching footy down here in Mandurah this afternoon as the Sharks sneak back onto the park as well. Out there nice and early, beating the umpires back out there before the start of the third quarter. And this third quarter will be massive for them in terms of today and obviously for their season to continue as well. They trail by 5 points, but they will have the breeze in the third quarter. Dave Lindsay and Joe Taylor enjoying the action here this afternoon as the Sharks begin their preparations for the second half. Joe, Swans season last week coming to an end. It was a heartbreaking finish for you, sitting on a margin of just under 3 goals at three-quarter time, although kicking against the breeze in the last quarter, and unfortunately just couldn't quite get over the line. What a sort of season! What sort of a season was it for Swans? So much happening off the field early, but a great effort in the end with such a young squad to get through as far as you did.
Oh, absolutely. You walk away from that disappointed for the first half an hour, and then you just look at the growth that we had within our group, and the girls were very positive about what we've been able to achieve during the season. And you look then, at Swans, we've got 5 girls going to the draft combine out of 12 in the state. So our pathway is really strong. We just couldn't get it done against the experience of East Fremantle last week and the week before. But that's something that the girls will learn from. So, I think disappointed, but excited about what there is to go forward.
I know the coaching position was advertised during the season, so I'm assuming you're stepping aside. You were caretaker coach after Leith Woods had to vacate the role. No ambition to continue on in that role for you next year?
No, I became caretaker coach for a finite amount of time, and I'm quite happy to hand the reins over to the best candidate that we can get. It's a great group of girls, so if we can just find that final piece of the puzzle with some of the off-field stuff, then I think whoever gets that team has got a really good future ahead of them. So just a call out there to anybody looking to coach WAFLW next year. Email Phil Smart at Swan Districts Football Club.
Umpires making their way back out here as well. So, you said there that your team had 2 cracks at beating East Fremantle and trying to knock them out, which probably makes it doubly frustrating that on both occasions couldn't quite do so. And I imagine perhaps even Subiaco and Peel, as much as they would have been concerned playing Swan Districts, I think everyone who wasn't East Fremantle wanted to see them out because you just know how dangerous they can be, and they've proved that here over an amazing little streak. They beat Claremont by a point, beat Subiaco by 8, and then Swans by 3. That was just to scrape into the finals, and then obviously sneaking home by 6 points last week. The way this game's shaping up as well, you'd find it hard to believe that if they were to win, they'd win by more than 10 points again. So they might, if they sneak into a grand final, might be on the back of 5 single-figure wins in a row.
Yeah, look, they're an amazing team, East Fremantle, and they've done it over a long period of time. You mentioned earlier there's 9 girls out there backing up from grand final win last year, and I can guarantee those 9 probably played the year before as well. They're a well-drilled team, very well coached, and they get it done. You can't buy experience, and their experienced players are quality players. So, it's you always know that going in against East Fremantle that you're in for a really tough day. So, they've come good at the right point of the season. So, it'll be interesting to see if they can finish that off today and keep this winning run going into a grand final.
the pleasing thing this year, I think, for East Fremantle would be the fact that probably in past seasons there's been a number of AFLW players coming back at the right end of the season to really top up their lineup, but not quite the same this year. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Gabby O'Sullivan, Ruby Slisher, Alex Williams coming back from injury. But apart from that, there aren't a lot of players out there with AFLW experience. Phil Seth is the physio at the moment with a brace on her knee after injuring her MCL a few weeks ago. But last year, Ashley Atkins was out there. Roxy Rue was about to emerge as an AFLW superstar as well. So there are a lot of big names out there for East Fremantle last year, but not quite the same squad this year.
Yeah, and that for them to be able to bring the young players that they have, and also, you know, you've got names like Kim Bowie who plays in the ruck for them, and ruck's won out and has done for a good couple of years, you know, and so for them to be able to continue that growth, and I think across the whole competition we've seen that next generation of players coming through by having lack of access to that real top end talent out of the AFLW system. There's a few girls that are still out there, and you know, the young girls are learning off of them, but to be able to see the, you know, Lily Birds, and even someone like Katrina Tinson, who has been around the Waffle. She's a young player, but she's been around for a number of years, to really be able to step up. And you know, and then you get Sharon Wong, who again is a 8 to 10 year player who just goes from strength to strength. So it's been exciting. People are certainly taking their time coming out on the field here.
I can see, I think it's their social media manager standing there with the phone out ready to film them running back onto David Gray's arena. They come out now, Jade Briggs and Chloe Wrigley leading them out onto the field. We saw Sarah Verrier doing some run-throughs at quarter time, and then I don't think we saw her out there at all during the second quarter, and I can't see her amongst the group coming back out onto the field right now. So she didn't last too long, which is a real shame for Sarah Verrier. She is someone who would be likely to be drafted in the upcoming AFLW draft. You mentioned the Combine coming up and all the Swans players there. Sinead Davison, who you looked after this year, is expected to go very early in that draft from the WA side of things. Are you, I know you'd be hopeful that there'd be a couple more that might have their names read out as well, but what are you expecting to lose from a Swan District's perspective?
Oh, look, I think a bit of a smoky. New ruck came in this year. She's a mature age player, but Sarah Wilstra, I think for her first season, was just outstanding, you know. So for her to come in and to be able to win her position pretty much every week, she would have to be in with a chance. And then Michaela Morrison, she's one of the nicest, cleanest ball users that I've seen. And we played a lot of wet weather footy this year, and she has always made it look like the ball's dry, both her and Sinead Davison. So hopefully the girls have a really good chance out there. And we've also got the Hyde twins, who, you know, this year stepped up. They've always been sort of forward pocket, back pocket players, and we were able to get them as full-time midfielders this year. So I if any team was to pick up any of those players, I don't think that they'd be disappointed with their output.
So the Thunder team eventually making their way out onto the ground. This is the way the finals have fallen so far. Subiaco sneaking home over Peel. Neither team scored in the last quarter last week in the second semi-final, but Subiaco winning that one by 6. So as a result, they progress directly to the grand final next week. And of course, East Fremantle hanging on by a goal over Swans as well. And that's how we arrive at today's contest, Peel and East Fremantle here at David Gray's Arena, with the Thunder leading by 5 points at the moment. East Fremantle with the breeze in the third quarter, and the winner progresses to the grand final next week at Joondalup against Subiaco. It'll be on Saturday. Big weekend of footy in the WAFL and the WAFLW as well. As we start proceedings in the third quarter, massive quarter, particularly for the Sharks here. They trail by 5. They'll have the breeze at their backs in this term. And interesting that McClellan has started in the ruck in this term for East Fremantle.
And just saw Alex Williams and Caitlin Catalano starting on the bench for East Fremantle. Hopefully they're both okay. They did both come off with injuries in that quarter, so it'd be good to see if they both get out there at some point.
Ross with the first kick of the quarter. Riley did very well to control the footy and then squeezes a kick through the congestion. It gets out the back. Opportunity perhaps for Jessie McDonald, paddles and then gathers. Good hand pass with the outside of the fist to O'Sullivan, and they've got a goal inside 30 seconds. What a start from the Sharks. And that's exciting football coming from Jessie McDonald. O'Sullivan has 2 goals.
Yeah, she's a new inclusion this week, and it was Jessie that passed off to Gabby O'Sullivan in the second quarter as well. So she's creating a little bit of havoc down there with her ball use and her speed on the ball as well.
So East Fremantle reclaim the lead. O'Sullivan has 2. Second lead change in this game. That's a very exciting start to East Fremantle. Good work from Chloe Riley in there as well, just to urge the ball forward and into the corridor as well.
A quick start by East Fremantle, so Peel will want to just see if they can't hold them up a little bit here and not let them get on too much of a roll.
The challenge put down now to Peel. East Fremantle with the last 2 goals of the game, both through O'Sullivan's boot. Versace at half forward. Gathers the footy, gives it off towards O'Sullivan. She's tackled, squeezes a kick forward. In and under once more is Wong. Can't get this ball out. They get a stoppage at half forward again. Well, amazing that they had 5 shots in the first quarter and a number of other kicks that ended up going out of play in that entire first quarter, East Fremantle. And they get a goal within 30 seconds this time with the breeze.
They might have just seen how Peel played with the wind and adjusted their game, because they did go a little bit more corridor with that one. So it'll be interesting to see if that's adjusted their game style to make them a little bit more effective.
Chloe Wrigley with the free kick for a high tackle. Delivers nicely towards Ditchburn. Swings onto the right boot. Kick smothered by O'Sullivan. Loose footy. Goes through the legs of Rowley. She's tackled by Wong. See a ball up again. Inside the centre square. Winner of this game plays Subiaco in next week's grand final. Neither ruck touched the footy. Brought to ground. The Thunder just ripping it out of the hands was Barnden. Church was the player who had it initially. The rucks go at it again. McClellan forward again towards Gomes. Stripped to the football by Roberts. Gomes will soccer. Coming the opposite direction, being tackled high. A free kick going the way of Peel. And we'll go to Demi Little. She wants to switch out towards our broadcast side. In fact, it was Davison towards Briggs. Bounce was kind for Briggs initially, and then the second bounce not so, and she ends up giving away a free kick for a hold. So Marnie Alston with the footy. Kicks long. Lewis is the target. Thought a jumper was held, and so did the umpire. She had front position, and that made it tough for Benson. Couldn't help but grab a fistful of jumper. I think it would be Sarah Lewis's first kick of the game. The breeze will assist her.
Might be a good distance for her just to kick through the football, not too close, so she doesn't have to think too much about it. Just have a nice free-flowing kick through the footy and see if she can't pop it through.
Umpire set her on a very interesting angle there. It's certainly not... it doesn't have the player on the mark between her and the goals. She's coming in deliberately with the left. Sets it out to the right. It won't come back from there. Pushing and shoving was Walsh. Umpire ignored that and allows the behind to stand. So East Fremantle doubled their lead. McClelland has come to the bench. So Bowie back out there. Still waiting to see whether Catalano and Williams, well, Williams is back out there as well, so that's good signs. Catalano came off with what looked like an ankle injury during that second quarter. Haven't seen her since then. She's sitting on a chair on the bench, so hopefully might get another opportunity. She's quite a dangerous player for East Fremantle. From this ball up, Tinson getting involved yet again. She's tackled and brought to ground. Ball going nowhere. Peel with a lot of players around the stoppage. Bowie tried to work Barnden away from the football. Barnden was strong enough to hold a position. The umpire gets another opportunity to try to separate them. 5 pairs of players forward of this towards the East Fremantle goal. We might have to do it all over again. Wong, a good tackle on Wrigley. Peel, I think Joe would be happy because every time this happens, the clock continues to run.
Yep, they're just soaking up some of that time and, you know, strategically just throw the ball away from the umpire. Great, gain another couple of seconds.
Got to be smart in Waffle Women's. There's no time on for goals or out of play or ball ups. So when you're kicking into the breeze, any chance you get to just wind a bit of clock off. And you can see Bowie getting frustrated there. Wanted to rip the ball out of the hands of Wrigley and get it back to the umpire quickly. Wrigley wasn't allowing that to happen. She goes to ground, tackled again. How long will the umpire be able to remain patient here?
I think everybody's going to have to be very careful here because he's got to be looking for a free kick just to open this up.
Fisting it forward was Bowie. Straight to Wrigley. This time she does get a kick away. Towards the wing. Malloy overruns the footy. Coming in to help out there, Ditchburn, giving it off to McKinley. Slicer in the opposite direction, being hassled by Bartlett. Little toe poke gets it towards Briggs. Her kick to half forward. Carter comes up quickly behind Williams. I think Williams thought she had a bit more time than what she ended up having. McKinley Just drags it forward with her boot, but Slicer in the way. Off to Prentice. Her kick goes wide. Church hassling Bowie, tackles her, spins her to ground. And we'll see another ball up. So Peel doing nicely.
Again, we just saw they're compressing the ground to make sure they're defending this win, but it's just not giving them the outlet kick when they go forward. So they still need to just hold a little bit of structure forward of the footy.
O'Sullivan just wrestled away free of a would-be tackle. Gains 50 metres, but the ball out of play without anyone touching it. So the free kick will go the way of Ebony Dowson. 6.5 gone in the third. Straight 20-minute quarters in the WAFLW. And no time on, so clock continues to run. And it will again here if this ball goes out. It will now anyway with the ball up.
Umpire's certainly getting a good workout out there today, so just be nice to see someone be able to get on the move and just break clear of this congestion and open the game up.
Sullivan's trying to do that. She's lurking on the defensive side. Ball goes the other way. Tinson tackled, taken over. This time it's the boundary umpire's turn to get involved. O'Sullivan kicked the goal to start the quarter. And East Fremantle with one extra behind in this term as well. So their lead is 2 points. Peel kicked their entire score in the second quarter. They did that last week. They only scored in the second quarter of the game against Subiaco. Still only fell 6 points short. Sliding in, unable to take the mark, was Malloy. A couple of soccer kicks gaining some ground. Slicer held her up. Ditchburn with a quick kick, gets it towards Phillips. She overruns the football. Another clever soccer kick gets them inside 50. Carter goes back to Briggs. She was pushed in the back. Carter now looks forward. Players streaming in all directions. Briggs gives a good lead to the pocket. That's ignored. She wants to go down the corridor. Sits it up to the top of the square. Can someone take the mark? It spills over the back. Bartlett is there. Williams gets to the ball first. Phillips, a chance to snap across the body. It's close. Goal umpire will come in and say it's a goal. Brilliant snap from Phillips. And Peel kick one into the breeze. And they reclaim the lead. Didn't the goal umpire enjoy a little bit of me time on the camera there, Joe Phillips? He waited for everyone to stop and then gave the two-finger salute.
Yeah, and I tell you, from the angle I'm at, I couldn't tell, so I was waiting for him as well. It's great to see. I think that might be Kira Phillips' first touch of the day. She has worked up the field to try and help out, but she's a mercurial player, and you just know she's the player for Peel that can do something magical, and typically when she gets that ball around goal, something pretty special happens. So that was a great finish under some really, really heavy pressure.
I think it was the body bend we just saw on the replay there as well from Phillips. She had the body at 90 degrees trying to work that ball back. So Kira Phillips, her 14th goal of the season. She's kicked 2 goals on 4 occasions and also kicked 3 once against Swans. A free kick out of the middle will go the way of Peel again. Bilsich done some important things today for the Thunder. Kicks it nicely to half forward. Roberts backing back in front of Slicer. Comes off Roberts' hands. Slicer with a hand pass. Quaife gets involved. Well tackled by Gomes. Prentice has it and is wrapped up immediately. And Peel sitting on a 4-point lead, I should say.
East Fremantle started this quarter really quickly, so Peel would be very happy that they've been able to lock them down and then score on the rebound as well.
Pushing the back free kick, going the way of East Fremantle. It's going to come back to Wong. An awkward kicking style, but it's normally pretty effective. That one hits Bowie on the chest and only just cleared the Peel player in front of her. Bowie can't take the mark as we reach the midway point of this third quarter, and East Fremantle haven't made any impression. Got the early goal, but Peel have replied. We've got 10 minutes of wind-assisted time left in the afternoon. Another ball up. Peel have managed to do this very well. Repeat stoppages, allowing the clock just to tick away. Quaife in the ruck, slaps it forward. Wrigley opposed to Wong. Haven't they had a wrestle today? So many times the two of them at the bottom of the pack. I reckon they might escort each other to their cars after the game as well, just to make it difficult for them to get in the driver's seat. From this ball up, Bowie picks it up. She's immediately tackled by Church. And yet again, needing 3 or 4, even more stoppages sometimes to clear congestion.
Yeah, it's just playing into Peel's hands whilst they're kicking into the wind. They've done a really good job of congesting the footy in this quarter.
Both teams holding their 5 forwards back away from the contest as well, and yet there's still so much congestion around this football. Just goes to show, doesn't it? We see in the AFL game sometimes so many players around the ball, not so much like we do here, that everyone says it's congested, and maybe we should see starting positions at every stoppage, but you can still get plenty of congestion just with the midfielders around the ball. Neither team able to get a clear possession until Wrigley slaps it into open space. Bird wanted to shepherd. No one was going for the football for East Fremantle, though. Burrowing in is Bilsich. Gains a little bit of ground with that kick. Ball at half forward. McKinley squeezes it forward further. Bartlett a fumble. McKinley's first to arrive again. She's sitting on top of the football. Umpire watched for a while, decides to ball it up.
This is the right end of the ground for Peel. Even if they're not to get a score from it, it's taking away the danger of East Fremantle being able to get that quick score.
Ball spills into a bit of open space. Bird uses the body well and then collects the footy. Great diving smother though by Bilsich. Really loved her effort in this third term. And she earns a stoppage again for her team.
She's gotten up a little bit slowly from that one, but that was a great effort and really gutsy to dive across someone's foot with your face like that.
Oh, sling tackle there from Tinson. High contact according to the umpire. Wrigley won't mind that too much. She gets up with the footy. Her teammates come in to support her. But Wrigley with the free kick. Too far out to score into the breeze. East Fremantle getting a lot of numbers back. So Wrigley sets it up to the hot spot. Can someone hang on to this one? Juggled attempt by Briggs. She believes she's the only person who got hands to that football. Now she's drilled into the ground. She's had a pretty good case there.
I think the person in front might have just had the first bite of that one, but it was very well controlled by
Jade Briggs it was. This time Phillips tries to take clear possession, and there's a tackle on Gomes without the football from Shannon Whale. No, for Wrigley it is. And Gomes will take the free kick and gets up a little bit sore. This clock continues to run. It's becoming the enemy of East Fremantle. They've got 7 minutes left with the breeze. Prentice now has Slisher in some space at half back. She loves to run, wants to take on the game now. Hand pass to Tinson, back to Slisher. Has Dowson now trapping her. It affects the hand pass. Versace's been very quiet today. Good hand pass this time though. Gives Bird a chance. High kick to Walsh. Too much on it. Over the back. Mark not taken by Whale. Anderson, just a careful toe poke, but it's too heavy. It goes out of bounds, and that boundary umpire is giving it a good lasso down there. That's a free kick, and it's good to see Catalano back out there to take it. She kicks towards full forward. Walsh got good hands on the footy, couldn't take it. Dangerous kick. Opportunity here for Gomes. Bounce didn't favour her. Luckily, Peel have got some players dashing through. And it was Roberts just in the nick of time. The youngster throws on the boot, gets into the middle of the ground. Peel dodged a real bullet there. Good tackle applied on Carter by McClelland. And we'll see a ball up in the middle. And that was a golden opportunity for East Fremantle, Joe.
That was a horrible bounce for Ashley Gomes, but it was really good to see the young Peel player leave her player and affect the contest and win the ball and move it forward. So that was a exceptional defensive play.
Right in the middle of David Gray's arena. Ball won by Church. They get it to half forward. Phillips is becoming important. Hand passes to her own advantage. Then Sockers off the deck towards full forward. Bartlett and Slisher. Bartlett gets out the back. Who's holding who? Bartlett was holding Slisher according to the umpire.
I think they might have been holding on to each other there. So it's a good one there for Ruby just to clear it with a beautiful kick out of the back 50.
Lots of Peel players around this ball though. Phillips is really getting involved. She tackles Wong and dumps it to the turf. Didn't allow her head to make contact with the ground, which was important. And she is starting to really fire up here, Kira Phillips.
She's a barometer for this team too. Once she gets a bit of fire in her belly, they tend to get a bit of a run on. She did well there to protect Sharon Wong because she could have really hurt her and got herself into a bit of trouble as well. So it was good to see her just protect her at the end.
There is Sharon Wong just jogging back into position opposed to Bilsich. Now the umpires had a quick chat to decide whether this one came off the boot or not. It didn't, so a boundary throw in. Quaife and McClelland will contest. Really like the way Quaife's going about it this afternoon, attacking these run contests with a lot of vigour. She's in there again there, had a fresh air shot with the kick. Maddie Ross over the top of the football for East Fremantle. We're inside the last 5 minutes of this quarter. And Joe, if Peel turn for home with a lead, that's going to give them immense confidence with the breeze in the last quarter.
Oh, absolutely. The only thing East Fremantle, we know they come home strong. So, but Peel to turn in front or less than a goal behind would just be an exceptional result for them in this third term.
Slisher goes out of mid-air, gains about 50 metres. Riley contesting with Little. She was held on to. Free kick to Chloe Riley. She wants to play into advantage. No, she was wide of the mark. She's going to have to come back.
Just takes a few more seconds off the clock there, so gives time for Peel to all push back and set up here. So you see most of their forwards are now in the back half of the field for Peel.
It's only 3 pairs of players behind Chloe Riley. It didn't spin well, but it's hit the one player who was free. And that's Lily Bird. That will frustrate the Peel coaching staff. Had so many numbers back, but still left Lily Bird free. She kicks towards full forward. Up in front was Davidson. McDonald roaming. Snaps across the shoulder. Brilliant goal. Well, she is exciting.
She's caused some real havoc down there. It's a great inclusion by the East Fremantle match committee. Just get a bit of chaos down there, and she's a beautiful finisher in front of goals. But I think she's had a hand in at least 3 or 4 of their goals today. So great inclusion there, and she gets a rest for her good work.
Well, let's hope it's the last rest she's having today, because every time she's near the football, something good happens for East Fremantle. And she is applauded as she comes to have a rest, and all the girls on the bench get to their feet and give her a hug or a pat on the back. She set up O'Sullivan to start the quarter. She's kicked the goal this time. Peel want to send some more numbers back into defence. The coaching staff were calling out to McKinley, who's on this broadcast side wing. She'll be in this contest. They wanted her to go back. She's going to earn a free kick as she took front position opposed to Tinson, who was interfered with. So 2.5 minutes to go in the quarter. Can Peel score again into the breeze? Bilsich circles around, down the middle she goes. Great pass, diving in. Malloy, did she hang on to it? No. She thought she did. It spilled out the last moment. She took a second to even look at the umpire while the ball was on the ground in front of her. She wanted the mark paid. We'll see the replay here, Joe. It was a good kick. What's your thoughts on the mark?
Well, I think she probably controlled it, but she's pretty lucky not to get done for holding the ball in the end.
Had it a long time with the marking contest, and then had a long time under her body. Catalano back on the ground, kicked for space. It will stay inside. Initially, at least, O'Sullivan did brilliantly. Paddled 3 times, still in. Soccer's off the deck, and this time it'll be a free kick against her because of the soccer, I think. Yes, the field umpire's giving the lasso move, and O'Sullivan gave herself away. And the boundary umpire didn't give that, and O'Sullivan was standing the mark.
The Peel bench was up and about then. I think they thought it was out earlier, but fortunately for them, it wasn't.
2 Peel players fly. Bird with the kick in the end. Attacking the ball, Little. Didn't take it. Davidson away towards Ditchburn. Lost the footy in the tackle. The crowd starting to get a bit of voice in this as well. Versace tackled. She drops it in the tackle. She argues that she attempted to kick it, but the umpire decides she didn't make any real contact on the footy.
She's been well held today, Versace. She's another one of those players that can just bob up and change the game, but they've done a very good job on her today.
Last minute of the quarter. A goal either way would be critical. Catalano wins it here for East Fremantle. Long towards centre half forward. Benson controls the contest. Lewis gets rid of her. Hand pass to McDonald. She's back out there again. There's a vacant goal square. She goes with the torpedo. How will it bounce? It bounces goalward, but it goes left. And it rolls away for a boundary throw-in. It's not the worst result in the end for East Fremantle. They'll get one more opportunity before the siren.
Yeah, and as we know, the ball will come in and it'll get thrown into the corridor. So providing the boundary umpire can get it in quick enough, East Fremantle will have one last opportunity to score a quick goal with the wind here.
Jessie McDonald, excitement machine. You'd be watching her closely at this stoppage. At the throw-in, Lewis works her way to the front. She's dragged to ground without the football. She'll get a kick. It'll be a shot after the siren in the third quarter to give East Fremantle an 8-point lead, with Peel coming home with the breeze in the last quarter. Everyone looks to Sarah Lewis. She'll need to kick this from about 30 out straight in front with the breeze at her back.
I think this might be a pretty important kick in the grand scheme of the game. But it was great ruck work there by Sarah as a key position forward. She just held her position, and the Peel girl had no opportunity other than to drag her arms down, really.
So Sarah Lewis kicked 4 in round 1 against South Fremantle. Was injured in that game, missed a few. She's only kicked 1 goal since then. This kick looks okay. It looks very good. East Fremantle have the goal on the siren. And they'll go into the last quarter leading by 8 points. 2 late goals in the third quarter, giving them just a little bit of a cushion with a quarter to play. It's 5-8, playing 5 straight at three-quarter time in the WAFLW preliminary final. Peel will finish with the breeze at their back. What a final quarter we've got set up for you here on our WAFLW stream.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
The V6 twin-turbo rear-wheel drive Kia Stinger. It took 7 years to create and 4.9 seconds to understand why.
Hey, darling. So I was thinking maybe we could all go out for dinner.
I wish, but I need to finish this prezzo.
Oh, that's cool. I'll just take the kids. Okay. All right. Bye.
Champagne, sir?
Bring your family together.
What?
New Optus Family Plan includes 4 SIMs and the McAfee Safe family app.
If you need it live streamed, you need Front Row Screens. Visit frontrowscreens.com.au.
Sometimes it's easy to just go with who you know. So here's what you need to know about Simply Energy. We're proud supporters of WA Footy. You can get 50% off our gas usage charges when you pay on time, and with service that's hard to beat, we make switching simple.
Well, the preliminary final for 2020 could not be any better position than it is right now. We're inside the Sharks huddle. They lead it by 8 points with a quarter to play, but they will kick into the wind in the final term. 5-8 plays 5 straight. The Sharks up by 8 points. They kick 2 goals late in the third quarter to give them this handy little break. It's not a match-winning lead, though, and especially with Peel finishing with the breeze at their back. McDonald and Lewis kicking the goals late in the quarter to give East Fremantle a little bit of an edge into this last term, but we saw Peel kick 4 straight goals with the wind in the second quarter. Dave Lindsay and Joe Taylor, your commentators here, as the East Fremantle huddle getting their last messages, Joe, and here's Peel. We've already seen their coach go absolutely off at them at the start of this break, then he sent them to their lines. He's got them back in there again, and it's so much on the line here for Peel, their first ever final series, and they had a little break in that third quarter. Phillips kicked the goal into the wind. They led by 4 points, but then East Fremantle, as we knew they would, they came hard. And as I said, this game could not be any better place for a neutral like us sitting up here in the commentary box.
Oh, absolutely. And East Fremantle have got all the momentum going into this last quarter. So Peel are going to have to start well and get the ball into their forward line deep and give themselves a really good opportunity to score early. As we know, East Fremantle are very good at shutting down a game. So I think if Peel can't get it on more even terms within the first 5-10 minutes of the quarter, that East Fremantle will shut it down, and it might just end up being a bit of a dour last quarter. But hopefully Peel just want to take it on. They've got to win this game. There's no tomorrow, there's no next week, so that's when you sometimes see the best footy is when they're taking it on and they're just running and carrying and taking as many chances as they can.
In the second quarter, when Peel had the breeze, they had 4 scoring shots. They kicked 4 straight. East Fremantle had 4 scoring shots and kicked 1 goal 3. So the Sharks will know that they can score into the wind. And I think Peel will know that too. They know that just kicking 2 goals to take the lead probably won't be enough here. They might have to score 3 or 4 goals in the last quarter.
Yeah, they're a fairly high-scoring team, Peel, and they can get caught out on that slingshot over the back. And East Fremantle showed in the second quarter that though there is a strong breeze out there, if you run the ball into it and carry, that it's very scoreable, if you like, down to that down to that end. But, you know, it'll just be good to see how these teams start this quarter. And you see Jessie McDonald's gone back down there into the forward line for East Fremantle. She's been a revelation today. They've certainly held her in their back pocket for a lot of the season. But yeah, so it'll be just great to see how this quarter starts and if Peel can get some momentum. And as a young team, you know, I've said it a few times, but sometimes momentum is all you need when you're a young team. So it'll be good to see how we go.
It's a warm day as well. Haven't had too many warm days in this WAFLW season. And Sarah Berry has been out of the game since the first quarter, so Peel are one short on the bench. East Fremantle have got a few sore bodies out there as well, but it appears that all 21 players are at least available to play in this last quarter. So this is it. Subiaco, I reckon they'd be enjoying this, the Lions. They're sitting back, relaxing, resting up for next week's grand final, and they know whoever they play is going to have to play a full 4 quarters to win this one. So that rest for Subiaco could come in handy going into next week's grand final. Here we go to start the last quarter. It's East Fremantle kicking to the right of screen. They go forward through Tinson. She was important in the second quarter, kicking into the wind, and she's got it forward again. Catalano's wrapped up by Dowson, and there'll be a ball up. One interesting move for East Fremantle already is Gabby O'Sullivan is starting on the wing, and she's already dropping off the play to sit a kick behind the ball. Free kick in this ruck contest. It'll go the way of Barndon. And O'Sullivan's trying to position herself to receive this kick, and that's exactly where this kick goes. Although with the breeze, it clears her head. It also bounces past the next pair of players as well. Williams, who was hurt earlier in the game, she's back out there. Clever little kick, just released Slisher, gives it off to O'Sullivan. 3 very important players getting involved already for East Fremantle. Ball in the middle of the ground though. Church does well for Peel. Towards half forward. Roberts, she's exciting. She's got some pace. Gathers this one. Kicks to full forward. Phillips, she was interfered with. Norwich took her high. And Kira Phillips kicked a critical goal during the third quarter. Can bring Peel back within a straight kick within 90 seconds at the start of this last quarter.
That was beautiful delivery there from Ella Roberts. Julianne Norwich had, you can't defend that. That's what you want as a forward. So just up to Kira now to finish it off and give Peel the dream start.
14 goals this season, including 1 today. She's made good contact with this, and that is the perfect start for Peel in the last quarter. They're back within 2 points, and it took just 90 seconds to do that.
And it was all of the people you want the ball in their hands. You know, as we said, Ella Roberts, she's a really good user of the footy for such a young player, so much composure. And then if there's anyone you want kicking for goal, Kira Phillips would always be my bet. So that's the perfect play there for Peel. And you just want to keep an eye on Gabby on that wing. They want to make sure that they're fairly tight on her, because if she's running free out there, she's going to drive that ball forward. So great start by Peel, 6 goals straight.
6 scoring shots to 13. Our scoreboard on the screen is a goal behind for East Fremantle, so Peel is still behind by 2 points. It's 36 playing 38. Just after the 2-minute mark of this final quarter. In the ruck, Peel get it forward again through Barndon. Again, somehow, despite the fact it's just the midfielders in there, there's not much space for anyone to operate. Again, Gabby O'Sullivan on the far wing has dropped behind the ball. She's virtually playing as a second centre-half back at the moment. So East Fremantle try to rush it forward. Ross almost getting to the back of her opponent. And again, another ball up required. So Peel have the extra player around this ball. It's Ditchburn on the wing. You can see her at the top of your screen. She's free. Her opponent O'Sullivan is sitting a kick away to the left of the screen. And again, we'll need another stoppage.
It's an interesting play there by the East Fremantle coaching staff, because they need to score to win this. They don't have a big enough lead to sit on, so one of your best players forward of the ball has just gone a bit defensive, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Straight up and down with this kick. Ball in a good position for East Fremantle to attack from. Wong managed to shrug the tackle. Hand passes back into the corridor. Bowie was strong at that contest. Kicks with the outside of the boot towards full forward. Walsh comes up, has a couple to beat. Little allowed to shepherd that one away towards Davidson. And then Davidson kicks to the wing. Ditchburn has a couple to beat out here. O'Sullivan should be too quick. And she is. She takes off with a bounce. Kicks into the pocket. Lewis on the lead. It lands at her feet. Good half volley. Gives the hand pass away to Versace. Just gains a bit of ground with the next kick. Walsh comes up. Tried to get into her move a bit too early. Didn't really straight line that ball. As a result, Peel can emerge. Wrigley, she actually, after kicking that ball, drags her opponent to the ground, and there's a good old scuffle going on between Wrigley and also Maddie Ross. East Fremantle have won the football back, but the turnover kick coming from the boot of Wong, and Davidson will take the mark.
A very important mark there by Cassie Davidson, with the Peel defenders going over to help their mate out there. They could have just got caught out, not concentrating on the job at hand and defending the East Freo forwards.
Still go forward here through Ross towards full forward. Anderson reading it very well, dropping off her opponent. Takes the mark and again wants to go to that outer side, and why wouldn't you? Church is in plenty of space. Ross comes across now to make the contest. Good body work from Church. Got rid of Ross and she's hurt. Church continues on. Gets the kick away, but it's gone too wide. It's out of play on the bounce. And Maddie Ross is slow to her feet. Eventually gets herself up. She was concussed about 4 weeks ago. This time doesn't look as though it's the head that's the problem. It's her midriff. After really copping a very solid bump, had the wind knocked out of her. Let's hope there's nothing more serious than just a bit of a struggle to breathe at the moment, as this ball's gone towards the forward pocket and out of play. Maddie Ross is at least running off the ground. She's a very tough player. And it looks as though she is starting to regain her breath and she should be okay.
That was a solid hit out there, and to be able to then run on with it, but it looks like she's certainly improving as she's getting off the field.
Hannah Church has made her way to the bench as well, so she might have just hidden what effects the bump took out of her as well. Phillips, a big spike forward towards Malloy. Couldn't take it. Cleared away by Wong. Towards the boundary. It'll stay in. Ditchburn opposed to O'Sullivan. Close to the line. Ditchburn tries to keep it in. Does it very well. Back into the pocket. Phillips is there. Her teammate Carter takes possession. Briggs shrugged the tackle. In comes Wong and now Bird. Quick kick. Bowie takes an important mark at half back. Sharks still lead it by 2. 6 minutes gone. 14 to play. Peel appear to have most of the running at the moment, but they're still behind on the scoreboard. Davidson confronted by McDonald. Good pressure from McDonald. Gives Versace a chance. She's slung to ground. McDonald steals the footy. Her kick was smothered. Quaife now gains some ground with her kick. Briggs, she's a left footer, so she'll come inside. Does it pretty well. Gets it in towards the corridor. Attacking it was brilliant. Ball gets over the back. Here's Rowley. Good hands for the football to be in. Good kick towards full forward. Phillips! Or is it Dowson? It's Phillips. Great mark. One out against Norrish. And for all of the efforts of Julianne Norrish, Phillips is just bombing up at the right times for Peel.
Yeah, it's the one-on-one they're trying to isolate down there in the forward line. Kira Phillips will outmark most people, so it's usually a team effort to defend her. So that's really good play by the Peel forwards to clear out and make sure that she gets that one-on-one contest.
Kicked the goal to start this quarter, and then this for the lead. For her third goal of the game. Goal umpire doesn't move. Peeler in front. Phillips has kicked 3 all in the second half. And Peel are 7 straight. They lead East Fremantle 5-8. There's 12.5 minutes to play in the preliminary final.
I think that was Courtney Rowley again, who just fought for the ball and won it out there on the wing and was able to drive it in forward. She's been instrumental today in just winning that hard ball, and she always gains. If we did metres gained, I think that she would be almost leading on the field. She just fights for the footy, and when she does, something generally pretty good happens forward of the ball.
I think I'm right in saying she was the best and fairest winner for Peel last year as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, she was 15 at the start of the year, so it's crazy.
Too young to be drafted at the end of this year. She will go very, very early in next year's draft, without a doubt. Such a talent. There's a few around in that age group as well.
She'll be happy to know that we've listened to Clint Degebrot, who sold us up the river and gave us the wrong name for 2 years. So we've made that correction.
She eventually pointed it out. She's a very polite girl. It took her quite some time before she started to tell people, no, hang on, I'm not Rowley, I'm Rowley. It's a name you need to remember. She will be in AFLW within the next couple of years, and she'll be a star at that level as well. Now Peel might just work back into this style of play that we saw in the third quarter, when they'll use up a bit of clock, although they can't afford to sit on it too much. East Fremantle with the free kick. They're 4 points down. Half a quarter still to go. O'Sullivan towards half forward. Riley tried to work her opponent underneath the football. Dowson first to get there for Peel. She's tackled. Ball spills out. McClelland onto it. Well tackled. Not well tackled according to the umpire. Free kick going the way of the big ruck coming into the side today. Would have liked to give a little hand pass to Versace there, but instead the ruck's going to take the kick. She does set it up to him in difficult position to defend. Davidson with the spoil. At ground level, Chloe Riley has it. Kick was charged down by Benson. In comes Tinson, tackled hard by Quaife. Another ball up.
Just seeing Cassie Davidson down there, just organising the back line. She's been instrumental to Peel's defence down there today, both with ball in hand and just making sure her teammates are all organised and numbered off.
All spilled out for a moment at least. Here's Bilsich, clearing kick towards the wing, and Malloy first to react. Takes the mark and then lets a lot of traffic go past her. Kicks into the corridor. It's a good-looking kick. McKinley misjudged it. Dowson was there to back up. It comes back to McKinley. Towards half forward. Bartlett gets rid of Slicer. It gets over the back towards Carter. Knocked away from her. On hands and knees, Prentice. Making a contest against Ditchburn. Carter. O'Sullivan tried to rip it out of her hand. She squeezes a kick forward. Here's Phillips again. Was she held onto by Norrish? Might have been the second time at least. No free kick paid. In goes Briggs, swings onto her left, clears the defender, it'll bounce away to the left for a behind. First blemish, it's taken 3.5 quarters. Peel finally have a behind. Their lead is out to 5 points.
They've certainly been exceptional finishes today, and that one wasn't too far off for a quick flying kick out of a pack either.
Only won one final quarter all season, Peel. They do finish with the breeze here today. They've already kicked 2 goals, 1 in the term. Roberts did well. Playing in front. Teammate actually got in away in the end. Gomes comes along to apply some pressure close to the boundary. Roberts wrestling with Gomes, and the umpire calls for the footy.
So at the right end of the field for Peel, they can chew some time off the clock and also just work to get that one more score.
Waif in the ruck, knocks it down. Good gather by McKinley. Kicks into the corridor. Malloy, a hand pass away to Bilsich. Kicks the torpedo off the step. And it will clear the line. No, bounces inside, so a throw in again.
We'll see the boundary umpire bring this one in and should throw it straight into the teeth of goal here. So playing right into Peel's hands.
I need to watch Kira Phillips in the ruck here opposed to Alston. I'd be stunned if she doesn't try to take clean possession here. At the throw in, she's got Alston covered. Ball actually clears both rucks in the end. Ball comes out to Briggs again. Every time she's turned on that left boot, becomes dangerous from that position, kicking it back into the corridor. Bilsich standing up in the Versace tackle, another ball up. Time continues to run, 8 minutes to play.
Briggs has been really dangerous today. She's just got that turn of speed. She gets away from her opponent with those first 3 or 4 steps and then is able to deliver on that left foot.
Another ball up needed. 5 points the lead to Peel. Subiaco are waiting to see who their opponent will be in the grand final. Bowie beaten this time. Here's Briggs, tackled immediately by a couple of Sharks. Ball ripped out of her hands. Yet another stoppage. Both runners just sitting off this pack as well, barking instructions. One from either team. Quaife knocks it into space. Maddie Ross is paddling. Free kick picked out. Ross was held on to without the football. East Fremantle will look to go quick. There's not a lot of movement ahead of the football. And no run coming from behind either. So Ross just forced to kick for distance. And McKinley standing in the way takes the mark.
She just read that one in the wind better. It just dropped on her head.
Second half's been good for McKinley. This kick towards centre half forward. Roberts couldn't take it. Now she receives the hand pass. Kicks long on goal. She's nailed it. The youngster has kicked the goal that might well have put Peel into the grand final. They're celebrating like they're in it. They lead it by 11 points.
That was a beautiful finish by the 15-year-old there. It's worth the drive up from Margaret River for a kick like that. That was exceptional finishing. Another one of those exciting youngsters that are a couple of years away from being eligible for AFLW, but it's certainly exciting to see them coming through.
Her second goal of the season. And the coaching staff on the bench for Peel are turning to their defenders and saying, just settle it down, celebrate in 6 minutes' time perhaps.
We've got the Peel coaches box next to us. They were pretty excited about that one as well.
I think we'll see quite some celebration. There's too many Peel players in the middle of the ground at the moment. Bilsich is confused. She's going to have to go back into defence. And this as much as I'm sure it's an accident, choose more time off the clock.
She's actually a little bit lucky because she was in the centre square, so it could easily have been a free kick against as well.
So they get the warning, but it effectively takes 30 seconds off the clock. Ball in the middle of the ground. Roberts again wrestles the ball free. Versace now has an opportunity. She's quickly tackled by a couple. And we'll see a ball up. Gomes is a bit sore just away to the left-hand side of your screen. She'll hobble towards the wing position now, but she was calling to the bench, wanting to come off. Boundary throw in. In comes O'Sullivan. She's wrapped up. Another ball up. 5.5 to play. East Fremantle need 2 goals to win it from here. There's only been 2 goals kicked to the right of screen all day. Free kick holding the ball. East Fremantle a chance now through Wong. Kicks nicely with the left towards half forward. Playing in front. Catalano can't take the mark but controls the footy. She's well tackled. Ball spills out. Ditchburn takes it away. Quick kick. Bricks back with the flight. Couldn't take the mark. Now she's paddling the footy. Caught by Prentice. She shrugs that tackle. Tumbles a kick into the pocket. It beats Carter. Gets to the back to Phillips. Tries to bend it around the left. That's not the worst result there either. A boundary throw in left forward pocket. And just take some time off the clock and everyone needs to shuffle forward and close it in.
And we've seen Peel be able to create repeat stoppages today, so that's what they'll be looking for here, just to take the time off the clock. As we know, East Fremantle, they'll never give up. They're the team that can kick 2 goals in 50 seconds, so this is really important for Peel that they can hold it in their forward 50.
Phillips tries to take clean possession against Norrish. Norrish is crunched in a very solid bump. They're ferocious up forward. Quick snap from Briggs. Goes towards the pocket. Slicer keeps it in. Gets the kick away. Knocked over after kicking. Umpire calls play on. Bowie makes a good spoil. Still alive though. Roberts, she's just kicked 1. Don't tell me she's kicked another one! Roberts, the kid's done it!
There's a really important hand in there by Hannah Church. If she didn't get a hand on the ball there, the East Freo were away, but instead it turns around to Ella Roberts, who kicks an amazing goal. That's a good spot out there. We saw Kate Bartlett earlier, and now Ella Roberts has gone a little bit further inboard, but great finish.
That's a remarkable goal. About 45 out, under immense pressure. 2 Sharks right on top of her. And she's kicked the 2 goals that have put Peel into the grand final, it would appear.
She'll have something to talk about at school tomorrow, that's for sure.
Unbelievable. She's on the wing. She's going to go into the centre square.
Why not? Why not? She's been the match winner for them so far, so why wouldn't you get her around the footy? And Peel now just need to lock this down.
Well, East Fremantle need 3 goals in 3.5 minutes. They've managed to get themselves out of trouble for 4 consecutive weeks, the defending champs. They want to play into advantage. It's going to have to come back.
What is it, Lee Matthews, his formula? If you've got enough minutes as goals, then you're still in the game.
They go forward, but that's a very important mark from Whale in defence.
See Abby Barnden coming to the bench with a bit of an ankle injury here, so hopefully that's nothing too serious, and she can potentially get up next week if they can just hold this on for the next 3 minutes.
Well, when you consider that the clock continues to run after a goal, it's going to take at least 30 seconds to get the ball back after each of these goals that East Fremantle need to kick. It's beyond the Sharks, as good as they've been over the past month, just to stay in the hunt. I think their luck has finally run out here today. They go inside 50 again. Whale is in the way. She's tackled by McDonald. Umpire watches on. He calls for a ball up. 17 points. The Peel lead. 2.5 minutes to play. And in their second season, Peel Thunder are going to contest the grand final against Subiaco. Socket forward by O'Sullivan. Is there something left here from the Sharks? Lewis comes out, makes contact with Dowson. Versace over the football, hand pass to Riley. She's shut down. Briggs with a fine tackle. In comes Wrigley, hands it away to Ditchburn. She's happy to walk it over. And we'll see a boundary throw in the right forward pocket. So Joe Taylor, we're going to see the new kids on the block taking on this year's minor premiers, who were also minor premiers last year. There's a scuffle breaking out. Frustration boiling over here. The umpire's blown his whistle. He's signalled a high tackle. It'll be a Peel free kick.
Peel girls just want to get out of there. The last thing you want to do is give anyone a reason to not play next week. But yeah, Peel have been exceptional so far this year. Subiaco have been the best team for the last 2 years through the season. So it's a great matchup.
Roberts attacking that footy hard in the air as well. What a final quarter the young kid has played. Dowson overruns the football. She goes again. Quick kick comes towards Wong. About to be tackled. Hands it away. Inglis Hodge. Hurried kick. Skids away for a boundary thrown in the left forward pocket. The umpires are coming in pretty quickly at the moment. They know that the tempers are starting to flare. As you say, Joe, no reason for any Peel players to get involved in anything right now.
Nope, and all players are forward of centre here in East Fremantle's forward line. You've got Kira Phillips, who was down their last line of defence. So Peel is certainly locked down, and that kick might just about do it for them.
That was Roberts again with the clearance. The celebrations have started down on the Peel bench. As the Sharks have an opportunity in the middle of the ground, a push in the back going the way of Sprillin. She wants to play on quickly. The hurried kick forward will be marked by Davidson.
She's absolutely been the general down there today for Peel. When they were under siege, she was the one to hold them up. So quite fitting that she gets nearly the last possession of the day.
There's a few tears of joy already down there for Peel on the bench. They can't believe that they're going to be playing in a grand final in their second season. Finished on the bottom of the table last year. Whale has it. They're counting the clock down here. The siren about to go. And Peel are in the grand final.
With Ella Roberts with the last kick of the day. How poetic. That is an amazing finish by Peel there. It would have been very easy for them to be overrun by the more experienced team, but they were able to hold their nerve and play some really good footy and score some nice goals there in that last quarter.
4 goals to none in the last quarter. They kicked 4 goals with the Breeze in the second quarter. And those 2 quarters have been enough. And probably more so the work they did into the Breeze. We mentioned during the first quarter, Joe, that East Fremantle had some chances. They wasted them. They might pay for that later. And as it turned out, that's exactly what happened. 1-4 in the first quarter for the Sharks. The third quarter, they did enough to really put themselves back in the contest, kicking 3 goals to 1. But perhaps that first quarter just didn't quite maximise their opportunities. And now we're seeing some scenes here where Peel are a very excited bunch of girls. They're into a grand final in their second season. And the great run of East Fremantle, they've been brave for weeks. But unfortunately for them, it's come to an end a week before the grand final. Single-figure wins against Claremont, Subiaco and Swans just to make the finals. And then they beat Swans again last week to progress to the preliminary final. But eventually the run has run out with a week to go before the grand final, and Peel, well, they get into a grand final next week against Subiaco.
Yeah, and they're certainly up and about, so it'll be good to see how they can back it up. I think it's important to mention that East Fremantle have been up and about now for that. They were going for a three-peat. Obviously, we transitioned to WAFLW last year, but they'd won the last of the WAFL grand finals as well. So they've been an exceptional team for a very long time. And for Peel to come over the top of them today, it's a testament to their coaches, I think. They made a decision last year to go with the young team and really develop them. And new coach in this year, he's just stuck with that, even on the weeks where it might not have been working. And today it's paid off because it was your Courtney Rowleys and your Ella Roberts and these young girls that really were the ones that were the driving force behind the victory. You know, and then Kira Phillips up forward with some beautiful finishing, and Kate Bartlett in that first half really kept them in it with some really exceptional goal kicking.
Inside the huddle, it's always a nice touch, the two teams getting together, pay tribute to each other. They played each other twice this year, and Peel have won on both occasions, so they've certainly deserved this spot in the grand final. They finished second on the ladder, beaten last week, and the question was, is it a bit too much for the young Peel players? But gee, didn't they stand up under pressure? And that early goal in this quarter to Kira Phillips just sparked them, and then it was the youngster Ella Roberts with 2 goals of her own to finish it off as well. So you give them every chance against Subiaco. They've been beaten by the Lions twice, but both in very tight games, and by all reports last week they were only a goal down at 3/4 time and had all the play in the last quarter but just couldn't score.
And I mean, we're a week out, so we don't know the weather report, but if it's some nice fine conditions, you'd almost back, well, you would back Peel in if they can get their running game going. You know, this is so exciting for them. As you just said, they beat East Fremantle twice this year, and I don't think in their history that they've had a victory over East Fremantle since their inception. So, you know, they've taken some massive steps this year, and, you know, next week they could be the holy grail for them. They might come home with a shiny cup.
Well, it's a very excited bunch there. They're going to pose for some photos with all of their fans. The coaches come in to have a few words, maybe before the photos and before the big celebrations start. He might be just telling them not to get too carried away, because it's a great achievement to get to a grand final, but if you're there, You may as well win it, Joe.
Yeah, it's not fun losing them, that's for sure, and it can get a little bit over-awing, if you like. And you know, they've got the long trek next week up to Joondalup. I don't think you can get two ovals further apart, so they're going to have to really recover well. And looks like they're about to maybe break into a song soon, but they're going to have to recover well and make sure that they do everything to give themselves the best opportunity. But Mandurah, Peel, Rushton Park, David Gray's Arena, whatever we want to call it, is it's certainly going to be, there'll be a buzz around here this week. You know, the men's waffle team had a tough year, so for the girls to be able to give Peel Football Club something to hang their hat on is really, really exciting for the club and for WAFLW.
Some very excited girls there. You can see a lot of fans have come across to celebrate with them. They're going to come across towards the grandstand, and in WAFLW tradition will belt out their song with the fans all a part of it, I reckon, here today.
I think it might be a pretty good rendition, so it'll be good to see. Just see Jenna Allams down there congratulating the girls. She spent the year assistant coaching with Peel last year, so you know, she'd be a little bit torn. She's at East Freo this year, but you know, good to see her acknowledging some of those young players and the efforts that they've put in.
So they are gathering in front of the grandstand here at Mandurah. The men's team, as you mentioned, Joe, had a very tough year for a number of different reasons, and of course did win a couple of waffle premierships not so long ago, so a chance perhaps for the women to be a part of it now as well.
Seems reminiscent of Lathlane last night, with the crowd running onto the field as the girls get into their huddle to sing the song, and I reckon that there might be a few in the grandstand that might just sing along.
There's a few extras in this huddle as well, some squad members, of course, some players who missed out today, and what an opportunity they have now next week to take on Subiaco. Both teams will be nervous for a number of reasons, not just because it's a grand final. But here they go, the Thunder song. Well, they sung their song, and the Thunderstruck playing over the top of it as well, Joe. So a bit of everything down here at Peel, but what an excited bunch they are, and why not? They're into a grand final in their second season. They finished bottom last year, had to watch the final series without any involvement at all. Beaten last week against Subiaco, and they've bounced back well to take out the reigning champs, and they'll give themselves every opportunity next week to win this grand final. They've been close to Subi before, and such a young group. Be so much enthusiasm going towards the grand final.
Yeah, and they would have to take so much confidence out of the way they played today. They were able to get the ball on the outside on their terms and play some really, really exciting football. And the way they finished up forward, as we said earlier, Kate Bartlett early in the game, Kira Phillips and then Ella Roberts, they were just able to be composed in front of goal, and the way they moved the ball into their forwards just gave them every opportunity. So there's a lot of joy going on down there, and you know, someone like Kira Phillips has been at this club since day one, so to see her be able to get some, you know, she's watched a lot of final series, so for Kira and for those girls that have been here, Crystal Carter, been here for a long time, it's absolutely amazing feeling for them. So they need to now just reset, calm themselves down, and know that they've got one more to go.
Let's hope Abby Barnden's all right. She came off with an injury late in the game. Just saw her having a chat with a few people down there, talking about her leg injury, it appeared, and Sarah Verio was out of the game in the first quarter, so hopefully she can recover during the week to take part in the grand final. Otherwise, there are a couple of players that missed out today who will be licking their lips at training during the week and doing everything they can to impress the coach. So good luck to all of them. Joe, thanks for your work. Thanks for taking the time to drive all the way down to Mandurah. I think it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, no, I've enjoyed this. It was a great game of football, and you know, just to see the spectacle that it was. So thanks, Dave, and you know, thanks to everyone for listening.
Grand final next week will be on Channel 7. It'll be Subiaco and Peel taking on each other for the premiership of the 2020 WAFLW season. It'll come to you from Arena Joondalup. The Lions and the Thunder, as they did in the men's grand final a couple of years ago, they're taking part in the women's grand final this year after Peel beat East Fremantle today by 17 points.
This WAFLW live stream is brought to you by Optus, proud naming rights partner of the Waffle and the WAFLW. The rear-wheel drive V6 twin-turbo Kia Stinger. Simply Energy, proudly supporting WA footy. And the West Coast Eagles, supporting WA female footballers to follow their dreams.